Oh, you're not going to, oh, you want sound right here? I just realised there's no sound.
So speakers in.
Can you all hear all that? Yeah,
that's all right. Do you want to start there again? Sing. I'm just going to give an introduction.
No, what we're going to do talk afterwards. So I'm just going to share the video about 1984. It's about in the news. You might have to get nearer to the laptop. I don't know if you can't hear. Apologies.
Thousands of Punjabis are still stranded in train stations and traffic is backed up for miles on roads leading into the Punjab as the Sikh-dominated state remains under emergency rules cut off from the rest of the nation. Indian Army troops are screening everything that moves when curfews are not in effect. The news blackout is so strict, we had to hide our camera to record these scenes. After being warned, we would be shot.
As you saw on the national, hundreds of Sikhs died in the battle.
Details are filtering out to the west slowly because of the Indian government's news blackout. But it's now known about 250 Sikhs died in the battle. Some reports now say as many as 500 people were killed.
And police reports today now put the number of dead at 700.
Though the Golden Temple's efforts are, with landslides 2,000. They say authorities have already cremated the bodies of 1,400.
Many of India's 14 million Sikhs fear religious domination of the country's Hindu majority, which numbers more than 500 million.
Their bodies are being pulled from the holy lake when Minister Gandhi decided she could not wait any longer.
Then told that the such action was avoidable, and we did everything possible to avoid it.
Yes, a large number of people were killed long before this action was taken. And initially, in fact, for a long time, they were killing other Sikhs. It was not at all a Sikh problem.
The government move was not confined to Amrit Club. Across India, police and army units raided a total of 44 Sikh shrines.
Even moderate Sikhs are saying there's no way they'll negotiate with Prime Minister Indira Gandhi to order her to attack Vietnam reserve.
6 days ago, Mrs. Gandhi sent tens of thousands of soldiers into the Punjab.
Some say Mrs. Gandhi is only exploiting this crisis, as she's done with others for years.
skirmishes in the town, Indian forces laid siege to the temple itself.
On Wednesday, they attacked.
Yes, ma'am, I would like to make a call to India.
Charanjit Randhawa's parents live in Amritsar. He fears his father is involved. Calls there and to his wife's brothers don't get through.
My dad, he was not armed. He did not have a pistol or a gun or anything with him, no, whatsoever.
Is like asking them to give up their religion.
The Sikhs may not draw the thousands they expect to march on Sunday.
There were demonstrations across the country yesterday, the largest one by far in the streets of Vancouver.
कईयों का कहना है कि 30,000 के करीब लोग इस मार्च में हिस्सा ले रहे थे।
The experience of unity to heal the wounds and set us in the proper direction.
Is a black day for the government of India. It's indeed a painful moment for the Sikh nation. They have attacked the holiest shrines of the Sikhs, Sri Harmandir Sahib.
Mr. Trudeau, your immediate intervention and cooperation to stop the bloodshed and to promote peace is requested.
Was bombarded. The Golden Temple, which used to be a place of worship where there would be hymn singing 24 hours a day, is now full of blood and bodies.
Violence has brought us to our knees. Disunity has brought us to our knees. It has allowed us to be sold out, and it has allowed this monstrous action by a so-called democratic government to take place. Do you really think that a unified, committed Khalsa under the banner of Guru Manvir Singh Jee, with the spirit of sacred God Sahib in our very
showed that on purpose just to give you a bit of a insight of what happened. This from like a media perspective. Okay. Not in anybody's huh? Oh, can you see it? Okay. So we're going to talk about 1984. Reason being is a lot of us don't know about 1984, what happened to the Sikhs, and it's very sad. It's part of our history, but we as a Sikh community, that's our protest, that we in the Sikh community, that we have actually totally ignored 1984. You'll notice in some Gurdwara there are pictures of Bhai Manvir Singh. Who's Bhai Manvir Singh? Anyone know? Anyone know Bhai Manvir Singh? No one knows Bhai Manvir Singh? Benji? Okay. What happened to Bhai Manvir Singh? How was he? He was martyred. Haji Baji? He was scalped alive. You see a picture of Bhai Manvir Singh that his hair is being cut off because he refused to get his case cut. Bhai Dayalaji was boiled alive. Bhai Mati Das was sawn alive. These pictures you've not seen in Gurdwara, yeah? You've seen these pictures. You see these pictures in Gurdwara, and does anybody ever protest or say these pictures should be taken down? Anyone? I've never seen a Gurdwara which anybody's protested. Haji.
This Gurdwara did.
Oh, Bhai Mati Das.
Haji.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that afterwards, at the end. Any normal Gurdwara, my own history of going to Gurdwara, obviously this one's the first one I've heard of. No Gurdwara has ever protested about putting a Sheep Singh photo of Sikh history, yes, okay, of the past. However, when we come to 1984 and looking at the sacrifices Sikhs made, we have a big blackout. Oh gosh, a picture of a 3-year-old kid has been hacked by the Indian police. What makes it different from Bhai Manvir Singh? That's why, because in our minds we've been brainwashed to believe that we deserved it. Whatever happened in 1984, this Zakata, the Golden Temple complex, do you know every day in Ardas, we do Ardas, and we do Ardas twice a day. Sri Amritsar the Darshan, we do Ardas that maybe have the opportunity to go to Amritsar and have a bath in the holy water Amritsar. Everybody who's been to Amritsar, put your hand up. Okay, so there's quite a few. Can you imagine that? Everybody won their life, a Gursikh was that I want to go to Amritsar, because that's where, at the central city. And the people who died defending it, we don't know about them. Because we've been brainwashed to believe that we deserve this. What the Indian government did to us, we deserved it. Oh, Sant Janai Singh is because he's the baddie, isn't it? He is the baddie which the Indian government went to get out, so we deserved it. He was a terrorist, we are the terrorists, and the Indian government are the saviours. That's what we've been brainwashed to think. These people deserve that their kids were killed, isn't it? Because they're the terrorists, we're part of, and the Indian government are right. We've been really brainwashed to believe this type of stuff. It's amazing how, as one sitting in a Gurdwara, there's this for this there, and a picture of Sant Janai Singh, we mentioned who he is. That's anybody who doesn't know Sant Janai Singh, who was the Sikh leader of the time. That's a picture of him. And there's a picture of him in the Des Pardes, Indian newspaper, doesn't know. And there's Babaji sitting there, who's a Morna, clean shaven. And he goes, bandi Fatih photo laiya, this person, no wonder why the Indian government had to attack the Golden Temple, is because he was there. Yeah, these people are useless. And he just got the paper and threw it away like that. Why? Because people have been brainwashed. And it's sad to think that youngsters, anybody, put your hand up if you actually research or someone's told you about 1984. Can I just show your hands? Okay, a few of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, none of you are the Benjis? Okay. Any of you Bajis have you been? Okay, Baji, yes, okay. Very sad that we need to notice this part is not being that far. Imagine if we can't remember the history, which is just 25 years we're marking. Okay, 25 years. In 25 years, history is not very far, is it? If you're forgetting history from 25 years, God help us. And why are we forgetting it? There's an agenda behind that. We're going to look into that. Manvir Singh. I'm going to start off with in 1849. Anyone know who this is? Hanji Benji. Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And the picture there, Benji? You don't guess who it is? Yes, son. Anyone know his name? The youngest son. Hanji Benji. Maharaja Dalip Singh. They were the last Sikh rulers of Punjab. When it comes to the question, some people say that, Sikhs are not rulers, we're barbarians. Quote from Indian government. 1947. We are savages. We are lawless people. But we have shown the world that we can rule. In 1710, Baba Banda Singh Bahadur, he was sent by Guru Gobind Singh Jee all the way from Hazur Sahib near Bombay, all the way to Punjab to deliver justice in Punjab to the people who had killed Gurudev Bahadur Ji, the Chote Sahibzade, the sons of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and he brought those people to justice. And for 5 years, Baba Banda Singh Bahadur ruled Punjab, and that was Khalsa Raj. Sikhs have ruled Punjab. Sardar Bagher Singh, he ruled Delhi, if I remember correctly, in 1766. He ruled the whole of India, the Sikhs did, only for 11 days. That's a different story, why it was only 11 days. But the Sikhs also ruled India as well. Don't feel the Sikhs are going, oh, these people, they haven't got a brain. That's what we've been brainwashed to think. Now, recently, I'll come back to that. Remind me to mention that Ashwini new film coming out. I'll tell you about that, okay? Not that I expect, but there's a reason why I'm saying that. We've been brainwashed to think that Sikhs we are useless people, but we have shown time again the last Sikh Raj was by Maharaja Ranjit Singh, about 50 years. And that Raj was then annexed, it was taken apart when the Gore came. The Gore the Raj comes, and the Raj was taken away. Maharaja Dalip Singh, anyone know what happened to him when the Gore came? When the Gore came and ruled India, and the Sikhs lost.
I think they took it and made him into a Christian and put his bed and I think is his graves there?
No, Thetford in it's a bit more upwards, more set. I think it's Suffolk it comes under. I think is it Suffolk or Norfolk? One of those. I'm not very good at it. Even though I did geography AS level, I do not have a clue. Okay, and that's why I was asked basically to quit. But anyway, so what happened is Dalip Singh Ji, when the Gore came, that Benji said spot on that he was brought to England. He was actually converted to Christianity. He's only 10, 11 years old, so he doesn't actually know what was happening. He was then, when he got older, Queen Victoria loved him. That's why he's got a little pendant of Queen Victoria there, if anyone can see that. Queen Victoria really liked him. She treated him like a son. And when he got older, they got him married off to this Egyptian Christian lady. And eventually, what happened, that he found out about his mum again. I just want to mention, it's not related to the talk, but I think it's worthy of mentioning. His mum, anyone know what was his mum's name? Maharaja Dalip Singh's mum? Anyone know? Maharani Jindagod. Maharani Jindagod was his mother. He found out about Sikhi again, that's a long story, but his mama, he came to England with Guru Granth Sahib Swarup, and he did a Sahaj part. Sahaj part means when you read Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj from the beginning to end, and he did a katha, he explained what Guru Granth Sahib Ji means. Don't like us, when there's a Khan part going, how many people are sitting there, how many people even bother to understand what Gurbani is saying? We're not bothered, is it? Yeah, I paid £100 to the Gurdwara, I've got a Khan part, no, fantastic. We've lost the total need and understanding of, we actually need to understand Gurbani. That's why so many Apne Bande are converted to Musliman. Very sad news that you go to college, uni, the sad reality is you will probably know people, by the time you're at uni, you will know a few people who are probably lured by Musliman and given up their Sikhi. Why? Because we don't know about Guru. We say we accept, but we're not bothered. We have to take the time out and have to read Gurbani and see what does Guruji saying to me. No point in having a counterpart and say, oh yeah, now what did anybody take from it? Anybody sit there, listen to it? Anybody bother listen, try to understand what part? Tika, by just sitting there, to find out, to research. He was very blessed. He heard the katha, he heard the discourse of Guru Granth Sahib, and it made him want to become a Sikh. He used to smoke, cut hair. He said, I want to become a Sikh again. Because if you cut your hair, smoke, if you don't do part, don't do simran, even wearing a pug, just wearing a pug alone doesn't make you Sikh. But you have to live a Sikh to be a Sikh. It's not something you're born with. He said, I want to become a Sikh. He went to see his mum. I want to see my mum. I'm Maharaja Ranjit Singh's son, I want to see my mum. He goes, his mum was in exile in Nepal. Everyone in Nepal is just above India. The British didn't allow Maharaja Jindagod to come to Punjab because they feared the Sikhs would then protest and they might try to get their own Raj back again. So they allowed them to meet at Calcutta in English. Okay. In Calcutta, they met there. Mara Jind Kaur had gone blind. Anyone know how she had gone blind or why?
There's something to do with this.
Yes.
So she doesn't ever see him.
Okay. Kind of link, not quite there. Vijay Baji.
She's crying so much that she's lost her son. She's gone.
She cried so much every day that her 10-year-old son had been snatched from her arms by the Gorde. That she cried so much that she went blind. Can you imagine? Inna Mada Dukh. She went blind. Imagine after so many years, he's got married, he had kids. He decides to go see his mum, and his mum's gone blind because of him. When she goes and sees him, in Calcutta this is, the Gorde allowed this, they didn't allow this happen in Punjab. She can't see. He comes forward and they go, Tera Dalip tunu milan aaya. Your Dalip's come to see you. So when she can't see, so how do you identify your son? She put her hand on his head. This is history. This is history. When she put her hand on his head, what did she found? Monna. He was clean, he's bald. If you look at the picture, he's really fat because he used to eat loads of meat. Now so he used to be one of the best hunters in England. He used to hunt, have meat, smoke, drink alcohol. He was like living a grand, Victorian type of lifestyle. When she put her hand, he's a bald head, she goes, what games are you playing with? Mera Dalip nahi ho sakda. Tusi ki menu jhoot sunai jande a. Tusi keh main Dalip nu mala. This is not my Dalip. Kehna my Dalip, son of Sher-e Punjab, the Lion of Punjab, son of the Sikh ruler, the person who was the ruler of Punjab. He was a Sikh. What have you shown me? And she refused till her last breath. She said that he is not my son. Then he eventually became a Sikh. He took Amrit at Aden. He wasn't allowed to take Amrit in India. There's just below Russia. There's a country there. There's a port called Aden. That's where they did Amrit Sanchar. 7 Singhs from India went by a ship there and he took Amrit. And eventually he died a very miserable death, unfortunately. And he never saw his mum again. He wanted to see his mum as an Amritdar. He could show his mum, "Maa tera Sikh put wapas aa gaya." This shows true Dalip. Imagine she wanted to see, feel that dastar and the jura, but she never had that. We need to remember this. So the Sikhs lost their Raj. Hanji, then what happened? So we got a grand history of being the rulers of Punjab. This is our motherland. This is our. When you take Amrit, when you one day Guru Kirpa, may Guruji bless you with that opportunity that one day when you do take Amrit, the Panch Bhai say from now on, your father is Guru Gobind Singh Ji, your mother is Mata Sahib Kaur, and your birthplace is Anandpur Sahib. You can't forget India. You cannot forget Punjab, because for Sikhs, our birthplace is Punjab, is Anandpur Sahib, even if you're born in this country. What happened then? So Gorde Raj and the Gorde, they were doing obviously, they were foreigners ruling us. Some people say, oh, what's the difference between us being in England and the Gorde in India? We're not foreigners who are ruling the British. We're actually joining them. We're joining society here, but they were actually on top. They were ruling us. And they were actually oppressing us. They controlled the Gurdwara. They also supported people who are anti-Sikh. The Gorde and the Raj during this period, in the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, has anybody heard of that? In 1990, yeah, you had Jallianwala Bagh. Do you know how many people were killed? No? Anyone guess?
It's written up there.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's written there. Oh gosh. 1,302 people. Okay. In 1919, Punjabis, majority Sikhs, in Jallianwala Bagh, which is a garden near Amritsar, next to the Golden Temple complex. There's a garden there. They were there protesting on Vaisakhi Day. The British came, they lined up and they fired at the Sikhs. 1,302 people died. The Gorde were that cruel. You know what they did? They made a law that no Sikh, no Punjabi can walk through Amritsar. You have to crawl. If you see in the film Shahid Udham Singh, you show scenes of that. People in Amritsar, our holy city, the Gorde made people crawl as a punishment. So if you not on your hands and feet crawling, if you stand up, they say beat you. These are facts. Now the Gorde are very nice. With time, they become very nice people, compassionate. But in the past, they weren't compassionate. That's history. So there's an uprising. Everybody knows that there was independence. India, there was an uprising. And in the 1947, India gets made. That's why we celebrate Indian Independence Day on 15th August. How did India become independent? And this is a small thing, you can read there, I'm not going to go through all of it. Indians killed in atrocities, 73% Sikhs. Deported, 80% Sikhs. Hand to death, 8% Sikhs. Do you see like a bit of a trend here that is majority Sikhs? How much of the population are Sikhs in India? What percentage? Anyone know? Guess? 2%. You're probably less than 2% now. 2% of India's population, which is nothing. 2% of India's population, and look, in the freedom struggle of India, who was in the forefront? Who brought India's freedom? When you see the India flag, that India flag is that's made with the blood of the Sikhs, the blood and sweat of the Sikh. But obviously that's been forgotten, we get how that came about. These figures are actually produced by the Congress Party, which is the ruling party in 1947. Just to bring a few people into here, Kartar Singh Srabha, the Gadar movement, was one of the early freedom fighters. Baba Kharak Singh Jee. Do you know why we tried Black Dastars, Kaliya Dastara? Baba Kharak Singh was part of the Akalis. He was refused, that he wasn't allowed to wear kirpan and wear dastar in prison. And then Baba Kharak Singh, at protest, he said, I'm not going to eat anything. And you know what the Gore did? They stripped him of his clothes, just his kashera, his shorts. And in December time, imagine how cold it is in India. In December time, he was kept naked and he's not allowed any clothes. They tortured him that way. They said, if you want to go hunger strike, let's see how it gets to you. They tortured him like that. But until he got his dastar and kirpan back on, he kept, and eventually he won the case. Baba Kharak Singh was the first person to win the first victory in the Indian struggle. During the Golden Temple complex, the keys for our Darbar Sahib, the Gore had them. The keys of our Gurdwara, Gore had them. Baba Kharak Singh was the first person to get the keys back from the Gore. There was a ceremony where the Gore handed back the keys of Harmandir Sahib. I'll say Golden Temple because some people don't know. Harmandir Sahib, we'll start calling it now. Harmandir Sahib. And there's Bhagat Singh, Shahid Bhagat Singh. Notice the picture, that's a taken from a photograph. He's got a jura on his head. He met Bhai Manvir Singh, the freedom fighter, who's also part of the Gadar movement. He was the only Indian or Sikh politician in Punjab who's part of the Gadar movement. No one else had the guts to be part of the Gadar movement because it was outlawed. And when he met Bhai Sahib in prison, he kept his case. He was an atheist at first. Bhai Manvir Singh, he made many sacrifices, and he also won the right to wear the star in prison. Otherwise, you have to keep your head uncovered. And then Master Tara Singh, who is a political leader. This is the main guy who represented the Sikhs. When the 1947, if you go to the remember this guy, Master Tara Singh, he's representing Sikhs. Keep his image in your mind. If you go to the next slide. What happens is that India has now got to the point where the Gore said, we will leave you. The Raj or the Gore, they said, we will leave you, India. You can now rule yourselves. India has independence. But what happened? What happened to India? There was something big happened. Anyone? India and Pakistan got made. Yeah? Everybody know that? In August 1947, India was divided into actually three parts. There's India, then there was East Pakistan, which is Bangladesh, and there's West Pakistan. Basically the Muslims, there was a Muslim League, which is by Jinnah. This is all history you can all find out. He said, look, I don't want to be part of the India. Why did the Muslims not want to be part of India? Anyone guess? Anyone guess?
Different religions.
Because they are a minority. He said, if we join India, we Muslims are a minority, these Hindus will suppress us. This was the Congress leader, who was a Hindu, and Jinnah was the Muslim leader. Mahatma Gandhi, I'm going to say Mahatma, I'm going to say Gandhi, he wanted everybody to be one, but the Muslims said no, we want separate. The Muslims said to the Sikhs as well, join Pakistan. We want you Sikhs to join Pakistan. I'm not whether there's pros and cons to that, but just one positive to that. If the Sikhs join Pakistan, where in India we make 2% of the population, in Pakistan we would probably make about 50% of the population, or could be 40%. So what does that mean? If in a country you make up 40% compared to 2%, what does that mean in terms of you're living in that country?
It's like, it's sort of fair in terms of balance.
The government would be half and half, be more fairness, you get more rights here. But if you're 2%, you're nothing really. So the Sikhs were told, join us, but the Sikhs said, we don't join you. Then the Gore offered the Sikhs, you can have Punjab, you can have Sikhistan, it was called at that time, no Khalistan. Sikhistan, or also called Azad Punjab, or Punjab. You can have that. And they said no. Initially they thought about it, then Nehru convinced them to say no. Nehru said, look, join India, and this is the promises Nehru made to the Sikhs, the Indian first Prime Minister. No constitution would be accepted to the Congress which did not satisfy the Sikhs. Wow. The 2% Sikhs, no law in India could be made without asking the Sikhs. Wow, that sounds quite good, isn't it? Then, this is what Nehru says, that's what Gandhi said. The brave Sikhs of Punjab are entitled to special consideration. I see nothing wrong in an area set up in the north wherein the Sikhs can also experience the glow of freedom. So what is Nehru saying there? What in fact does that mean? Anyone? Benji? Yeah, the Sikhs have their own rule, yeah? You're part of India, but you're the rulers of your land. So Punjab is basically the Sikhs' land, which is fair enough, because that sounds quite a good deal, doesn't it? We're going to go what went wrong. Anyone know how many people died in partition? When India and Pakistan got divided, Punjab got divided, how many people died in the bloodshed? To what I remember is 6 million people or something died. It was the most bloodshed seen in this earth's history when two peoples migrated. There was a big lines of people walking. So the Sikhs and Hindus are walking to all the possessions they had. People who said they'll never leave their land or never leave their house. Imagine that. You only got a few little bits, bobs to put on your head and walk to the other side. And on the way, the Muslims would attack the Sikhs would attack the Muslims. It was on both sides of a frenzy. The first attack was done by Muslims, a train full of Sikh passengers going to India. That was stopped at Lahore, and that's where the Muslims set the whole train alight and killed every single man, woman, child in that bus, in that train. Many atrocities. I don't want to go through that. You go to the next. What happened to the promises? Now, please pay attention, because again, why do we believe we deserve to be oppressed? Why we deserve to be tortured? Because we don't know our history. So it's very important to pay attention to just a few facts, and we're going to go to what happened in 1984. 1950, they realised there's some broken promises. The broken promises is, firstly, Sikhs are considered as Hindus as part of the Indian constitution. If you get married in India, do you think we're Hindus? Does everybody agree that Sikhism is a separate religion, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. But if you go to India, if you get married, you would get a Hindu Marriage Act certificate, because you're not considered a Sikh in India. Sikhs are not a separate religion, you are actually considered as Hindus, firstly. So you are not separate people. How in this country, you are considered a different race and religion. This picture is back. This picture is a picture of Bhakra Dam, that's in Punjab. If you go a bit further from Anandpur Sahib. That produces the electricity, hydroelectricity for Punjab. Again, the Bhakra Dam benefited other states more than Punjab. Realise when all these things, there's not much mention about Sikhs, it's more about Punjabis. Punjabis are getting the brunt of the offer. Punjabis are getting the short straw in this new independent India. Punjabi farmers paid higher prices for agricultural input, but offered lower prices for the produce compared to the other states. So they have to pay more for the fertilizers, for the seeds, but when the Punjabi farmers go to sell them, they're given lower rates compared to other states. So farmers are getting poorer. This is huge. 75% of Punjab's water was diverted to other states. Anybody recently been to Punjab? Anybody been to India recently?
I went about, it wasn't recently, but say about 10 years ago.
Okay. Oh gosh, your research is quite
And in the restaurant, the light kept going off.
Oh really?
Yes, but I think it was because Punjab get the electricity last or something.
Electricity is very dodgy in Punjab, yeah, you do not have the power for something. Did you notice anyone mention or anybody mention about water to you, about water levels going down or dry land? Anyone? Okay.
I think they probably talked to you about the elders and stuff.
Oh, I think if you talk to the elders, what you'll find is that the Pani level is going lower and lower. Some cases so deep they have to go to get the water out of the ground. Why? Because the pani level in India, in Punjab, is going down and down. This is Punjabi. This is a Punjabi farmer's field. It's all dried up. But there's a simple solution. Punjab is a river of five. Punjab is the land of 5 rivers, isn't it? Obviously, 2 rivers are left in India and Punjab. It's just simple. Get the real water. But no, the government has diverted the water to Rajasthan and other places. Can you see there's some shifty stuff happening here? 70% of Punjab's revenues are spent in other states. Can you imagine that Gillingham's income, so imagine the taxes of Gillingham, get spent in Southall or get spent in central London? You'll be cheesed off. Now imagine that, yeah, I can have a new, Gillingham needs a new bus. Sorry, we have no money. How do we have no money? There's so many people living here, so many people paying their taxes. Sorry, your tax is being spent in another city. That's what's happening in Punjab, the state. Restriction on recruitment and promotion of Sikhs in armed forces. Punjabi was not recognised as Punjab's language. If you go to Gujarat, what is the state language of Gujarat? Huh? Yeah? Gujarati. If you go to Maharashtra, the state language is Marathi. If you go to Tamil Nadu is Tamil. If you go to all these places, the states, their state language is their local language. But did you know what? In 1950, if you go to Punjab, ask them what's Punjab's language, according to the government. Anyone guess what it was? Hindi. Punjab, they didn't even declare that Punjabi's language is Punjabi. They said, no, your language is not Punjabi, it's Hindi. Can you see there's something, the Punjabi, it's not a Sikh problem yet. Punjabi, there's something really anti-Punjabi happening here. Then anti-Sikh propaganda, now there's anti-Sikh propaganda by Hindu nationalists. In newspapers, you get pictures of Sikhs being called lawless, and they're being called barbarians. These type of images are being crept into Indian media by these Hindu nationalists. Then what happens in 1966, this is a build-up, so you see what's happening in Punjab. Punjab is getting the brunt of the independence. So what happens? What would you expect normal people, law-abiding people to do? You protest. If something's not right, it's our democratic right to protest. So that's what the Punjabis did. I use the word Punjabis, not Sikhs, because this is a Punjabi problem. The majority were Sikhs with that. So in the 1950s, 250,000 Sikhs demonstrated and were arrested. 250,000 Sikhs were arrested. Why? Because they were protesting for Punjabi Suba. Suba means area. They were protesting for Punjab, for an area where Punjabi is the state language, and for the simple rights of, that Sikhs should have their water and this, that, the other. And so what happened is Punjab was then divided. Even Delhi used to be at one point part of Punjab. Punjab, if we look now, is one of the smallest states in India. Why? Because each tribe is being cut up. Is being made smaller and smaller. Again, you see, why cut Punjab smaller? This picture is outside Harmandir Sahib, the Golden Temple. Anyone see what's happening in this picture? This is outside. Do you know when you got the shops, the clock tower, this is outside. The police and the army are taken away. It's like, what's happening to him? Is the stars off, they're dragging him, and you can see his hair just dragging across as well. He's a protester. Sikhs went to Harmandir Sahib and said that we want a Punjabi Suba. We want a Punjab where Punjabi is our language. So what happened, this guy is the first Shaheed of the Punjabi Suba. His name is Inderjeet Singh. He's only 10 years old. And he was thrown into a well alive by the Punjab police. All he said was, Punjabi Suba Zindabad. Punjabi Suba Zindabad. Long live the land of Punjab, which is just for Punjabis. Because Punjabi is not the language. So they're fighting for, it's like asking English people, they've been told their state language is Welsh. And English people saying, we want an English England. Which is fair enough. And he was the first person to die in the struggle. If you go to the next one. It's going to go down browse it. In short, there was a Anandpur Sahib resolution where again the Sikhs asked for the Punjabi to be recognised as a language, and also asked for the rights for real water, electricity, and also religious demands. So bring your attention to this. Which city in India has the most drugs sold and used there? Anyone? Jalandhar? Okay. Anyone? Punjab? Okay. Which city in Punjab? When you said Jalandhar? Huh? Amritsar. Amritsar has the most, if you go and Google it, Amritsar is the most drugs are sold in Amritsar. The most cheapest drugs in the whole of India are actually found in Amritsar. The most alcohol shops are found in Amritsar. But Amritsar, why is Amritsar special? What do we call it? Our holy city, isn't it? Guru Ram Das, the fourth Guru made Amritsar, isn't it? So you can see there's something wrong. In India, the Hindus' holy city is called Banaras and Mathura, and they call it. The government has given those cities holy city status. By having a holy city status, they are not allowed to sell alcohol in the streets of those cities. In Mathura and in Banaras, you cannot sell alcohol and you cannot sell tobacco. But in Amritsar, go outside the Harmandir Sahib, in 2 minutes you can find a meat shop, you can find someone selling tobacco, and it's not hard to find a few druggies hanging around, to be honest. This is Amritsar. So they asked for Amritsar to be the holy city of the Sikhs as its status. So that means getting rid of all alcohol shops. They're not very big demands, but the Indian government refused. And also for the Kirtan to be broadcasted from the Darbar Sahib, from the Golden Temple to the whole world. And also for the Indian government to recognize that Sikhs are not Hindus. Hindus are a separate religion and Sikhs are a separate religion. These demands were failed. Okay. Coming more near to 1984, if we go next one is 1975, Indira Gandhi is found for doing election fraud. She was found guilty. She's put into prison. She comes back out. She still wants to be Prime Minister. Imagine that, like Gordon Brown being put into prison because he's been done fraud, but he's still Prime Minister. As soon as he comes out, any power-hungry person, what they do is they arrest all opposing people. So what Indira Gandhi did, this is a newspaper clipping. Even Vajpayee, who was the head of one of the opposition parties, the BJP, he was arrested and put in prison. All the major political parties, all the politicians were put into prison. I don't know if it's written how many people, but I think it went about 200,000 people were put into prisons, politicians, everybody. Even trade unionists were put into prison for train stations, postal workers, this, that, the other. Picture of them being in prison. The only political party which was not to be arrested were the Sikhs, because Indira Gandhi thought the Sikhs are good people. Well, this is my understanding. That she thought, these people, they're not going to really do much. So she didn't arrest the Akali. That was the only Sikh party at the time. The Akali, she didn't arrest them. Everybody else, which that newspaper clipping says, in the emergency period, they arrested. But the Sikhs, our gurus have taught us to always stand up for the human rights of others, even for non-Sikhs. So what the Sikhs do, the Akali, the political party of the Sikhs, they protested in big numbers and said, no, release these prisoners, release them. And 50,000 Sikhs were arrested for protesting. And some people claim that Indira Gandhi felt betrayed by the Sikhs, that she on purpose didn't arrest them, but then the Akalis had protested against her, so she felt a bit betrayed. Just keep that in your mind. Whether it's true or not, only God knows. Haji. Coming close to 1984, this is the Nakli Narankaris, which some people call Narankaris, we call Narakataris. What happened is that you can see there's a systematic now attack on the Sikhs on their human rights and their civil rights, whether it's from having water, whether it's from having electricity, whether it's from their Punjabi language, whether it's from Amritsar being called the holy city, alcohol, drugs are being prevalently sold in Punjab. So the Sikhs we are being attacked in our civil and also our social liberties. Sikhs are not being given jobs. In India, keep a Dara Prakash, you'll be not given a job. They'll go, hey Baba, you come to get a job. In this country, you can be in the armed forces and keep your beard untied. My brother's been in the army, and there's been other things he's seen who have a Dara Prakash in the British army. They have their beard flowing. In India, you're not allowed to have beard flowing. We're in a bank, in a normal bank, other than Punjab Sindh Bank, you're not allowed to have a beard flowing. Your beard has to be tied up. Your beard if you've got a cut beard, you get promotion more easily. Again, there's this system at what the blacks faced in racist America during the times of Martin Luther King. Then now our religion is being uprightly attacked. The government starts sponsoring these sects and cults to attack the Sikh religion. The most famous of them is the Narankaris or Nagli Narankaris. Narankar literally means formless God. Nothing wrong with the word, but they hijacked the word and they made a group. This is the main guy. His name is Gurbachan. Gurbachan, there, that's his wife. This picture's of another parade they did. You can see that they've got a canopy over top of them, trying to give themselves the same status of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. In short, what happened is 1978 Vaisakhi again. We need to celebrate these events. We need to mark these events. The Gurdwara, we celebrate Vaisakhi, but this happened in 1978. But sad thing is that Gurdwara refused to mention it. Sad thing is that, does anybody know about Amritsar Vaisakhi massacre of 1978? Anyone? I'm sure Kalu Pata. Okay, Paji knows. Just two, three of us from all of us sitting here. Very sad. Why? We need to push forward, pyar de naal, raise awareness about these issues. Look, this is our history. We've been made to forget this. What happened is this guy Gurbachan, which Indira Gandhi supported and gave them money, he decides to do a parade in Amritsar, the Sikhs' holy city, on Vaisakhi. Not any day, Vaisakhi. Imagine how pumping, busy it must be, streets are packed in Amritsar. He picks Vaisakhi day of all days to do a parade in the middle of Amritsar. And he claims that he is the reincarnation of Guru Gobind Singh. He gets 7 people dressed in white, well, perhaps like this man here, dressed in white, they got white nishan sabs, and he goes, Je Guru Gobind Singh Ji 5 pyare saja sakde, main 7 sitare saja ke dikhaunga. A bit like the Ram Rahim person who recently tried to impersonate Guru Gobind Singh Ji. This is all history. He got 7 people and claimed that these are the 7 stars. Do you know we say the 5 beloved ones, Panch Pyare? He goes, if Guru made the 5 beloved ones, I'll make the 7 stars. Okay. Bad, not too bad to go and attack or go and defend ourselves. You think, okay, this guy's going wrong. What happens then? He puts his foot on Guru Granth Sahib Ji's Saroop. Guru Granth Sahib Ji, our Guru, which is Maharaj Prakash in the Diwan Hall. Can you imagine that this guy, he gets his foot and puts it on top of Guru Granth Sahib Ji's Saroop with his bare foot, and he says, if any Sikh wants to stop me, stop me. He then was going to do a parade. Sant Jadel Singh, who was a Sikh leader, prominent leader at that time, he found out about this. That this man, Gurbachan, he not only impersonated the Panch Pyare Guru Gobind Singh Ji, but he went to such extreme that he put his foot on top of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So Sant Jadel Singh went to the office in Harmandir Sahib, in the SGPC, that's the group which controls the Gurdwara in India, in Punjab especially. He went to their office and said, look, we need to get a few people together, get a few hundred people together, and we need to do a protest. These guys, their headquarters, or wherever they're going to start their parade, we need to go there and show that we're not going to accept it. Someone insulted our Guru, and we're going to sit there like nothing's happened. Anybody with any self-respect and dignity would say that no one would accept any insult to Guru Granth Sahib Ji. ठीक है, आजकल जैसे कोना जमीर मार गई, our consciousness has died. Some is very sad that some people even allow, if someone swears at their own mother. I've seen Gore, they go, oh yeah, your mom this, your dad this, and we just happily sit there and we laugh it off. We have no self-respect or dignity that someone insulted your father, your mother, and you think that it's acceptable. That's why I say in some aspects, the Gore, in the Nojawan, not to elders still have their principles, but the youngsters at school, and we are included in that they've got lost this self-respect. A Muslim insult Islam, insult even their mum or dad or sister or brother, and you see they will not accept it. They will rather see themselves get in a fight and get knocked up to the ground rather than be seen or just walk away, oh it's alright. But apne bande, if you look at, do we have that respect? But blessed is that where in Amritsar, the SGPC, they said, oh, we don't get involved. Why do you reckon the SGPC, the committee which runs the Gurdwara in India, they said that we don't get involved? Anyone guess? Why don't they want to get involved in any protest against these guys? Benji?
Funded by Indira Gandhi, not to.
Funded by Indira Gandhi, a powerful group. Sometimes it's easier to stand up against some weakling, isn't it? If a weakling, mere varga koi byadri, because if in a Gurdwara we do something wrong, it's easy for 5 Singhs to come and beat me up. But if I'm a big person, well, I've got about 20, 50 other people with me, they think, oh, you want to think twice, I know he's doing something bad in the Gurdwara, but I don't want to get a punga, I don't want to get in trouble with this guy. That's what they did, the SGPC, they got scared. So what did Sant Jadel Singh? He said that no one helped him. At that time in Amritsar and Vaisakhi, there was a Ranas Bhai Kirtan in Ranjit Nagar, a place, a city in India, in Amritsar, an area within Amritsar called Ranjit Nagar. Sant Janai Singh went to the Ranas Bhai Kirtan. The Ranas Bhai Kirtan was organised by the Khand Kirtani Jatha. It's a Kirtan group which does a lot of prachar seva through Kirtan and also other means as well. And he went to the Ranas Bhai, and I went recently did a talk at Bristol, and there was a Bhai Sahib, an elderly Singh, he was actually there at the time when Sant Janai Singh came to the Ranas Bhai, and he told me, he goes, because I mentioned it, then he called me up after the talk and said, Singh, I want to have a word with you. I thought, oh gosh, what have I said wrong? But he just wanted to say, oh, because you do talks, you can add this, that I was there, and he told me. What Bhai Sahib told me from Bristol, he goes that the Ranas Bhai is happening, the Singhs are, in the Khand Kirtan, when they do Kirtan, they do a lot of Simran mixed with the Kirtan as well. So there's a lot of Vaheguru Jap, I'm sure you might have attended the Ranas Bhais in Gravesend or elsewhere. But Sant Janai Singh asked the Khand Kirtan, can I do an announcement to the Sangat? They said, that's fine, you can do it, more than welcome. So he got us, and he goes, it's all good to see Guru Karde, you're doing Simran, Swaguru, it's all good, we need Khalsa to be now Biasi. It's all good that all night long you're singing Kirtan, very good. But Khalsa Ji, just reading, doing Kirtan alone and doing Simran alone, that's good, but on top of that we also need to be aware of what's happening outside. He goes, I just received a report that Gurbachan has put his foot on Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and he's also planning a parade in Amritsar. I've been to the SGPC office, the Gurdwara Committee office in Amritsar, they refused to help me. I do benti because I respect the country in Jatha. Can any, if you feel the pain, would you accompany me in protesting? And then the Jagare, the Sangha did loads of Jagare, so they're saying Bole, Soneha, Satsrigal, loud Jagare being let off everywhere. Then Bhai Fauja Singh, he was a prominent figure within the Khandaki Jatha. He used to do Khalsa camps, he used to teach youngsters about Gatkar, very much on the forefront of in the community. He stood up and said to Sant Janai Singh, look, you are the leader. At this time, you are the political leader, the only true leader who is not influenced by politics, dirty politics. You're the only one who speaks for the truth, and no one has guts to speak. Because if it goes Indian government, you're going to say, we don't ask that we want Punjabi language, we don't want to protest that we want Amritsar to be a holy city because they don't like it. But no, you stand up for what is true. And so, Bhai Fauja Singh told Sant Janai Singh, you stay here. If you die, who's going to be in the forefront? So, Sant Janai Singh was told not to go on the protest, and instead Bhai Fauja Singh led it. His majority of the Khandaki Jatha and a few other Sangat, 125 of them, they marched towards these guys. And if anybody went to the Samadham in Slough, Bhai Manvir Singh, he was there at the time, he explained what happened. That when as they're marching, the Narangaris, they filled in India Coke bottles made out of glass, Pepsi bottles or Mirinda or these little, they filled them up with acid and they started throwing them at the Gursikhs. And the Gursikhs, they promised that we are going to do a peaceful protest. No one was going to attack. A Sikh never attacks anybody, we only defend. So everybody's just doing Satnam Vaheguru. They said they were just doing Simran. They get acid bottles thrown at them. You can imagine what pain and agony the Singhs were going through. Many Singhs were injured. And then they started throwing stones. Then these guys are all the Indian sponsored groups, they're very military organised. Their groups have like a mini army. Even the Narangaris, their workers are like a mini army. They then started firing bullets at the Sikhs. I've got a picture of the Narangari Sabka in my laptop, when anyone wants that, of the police standing there. The police refused to help the Sikhs, they just stood there and the Narangaris fired the Sikhs. Eventually the Sikhs got out their Sri Sahibs and they defended themselves best as they could. In the massacre, 13 Guru Sikhs got shaheed, they got martyred. That's why Fauja Singh by the end of the protest. You can see the acid and he's obviously been shot through the head as well. That's why Fauja Singh. These are true Guru Sikhs who stood up for the sanctity and respect of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Not mere words that we do, oh yeah, Guru Granth Sahib is our Guru. Do you know we read in the past, Bhai Manvir Singh, Baba Banda Singh, Mai Bahagur, these great Guru Sikhs, people who really stood up for what they believe. Unlike us, we're too ashamed to be Sikhs. It's something really caught me. Someone said to me, do you know Musliman? I went to an interfaith conference, we talk about at the end of the question answer in detail. And this Muslim was saying the Quran is truth, the Quran is this. I don't agree with what you're saying. He was saying the Quran is scientifically proven. I've read the Quran and I've studied Islam at uni, and it didn't really seem, what he was saying made sense to me. But I respected what he said. Why? Because he was speaking of so passion and conviction. He would truly believe what he believed in. Unlike us, oh, could you speak about Sikhi? I'm a bit shy, I'm a bit embarrassed. We're too embarrassed to try the start to school. Sisters, it's very sad that you seen the video we showed earlier on. Anyone see who did a speech in the march? There was a lady. Anyone see the bibi? She had a white the star. Anyone notice? She was doing a speech. She had a huge white the star. She's a Gauri Singhani. She is proud of being the daughter of Guru Gobind Singh. That's why she's got a kesi. She's got the star on her head. She doesn't think, oh, what will others say about me? We need to be thinking about this. Are we proud of who we are? We can't blame Gauri, blame Hindus, blame Muslims. It's us. We have to be proud of who we are. And by Fauja Singh and the other Singhs, they did that. They became Shahid, 13 Gursikhs. We go to the next slide to show you their picture of their funeral. 30,000 Sikhs gathered at their funeral in Amritsar. 30,000. कोई मानवों मरता कि 5 बंदे इकट्ठे करने मुश्किल होता है. मानवों, a godless person dies. Sometimes you might be people standing at the funeral there saying, "Oh gosh, yeah, the banda was an idiot. God, I'm just attending." इधर होता है बीच funeral people are thinking that बंदा पापी या बच्चा गाँव में मर गया. कार भाई लोग सुख सुख मिलेगा. His wife be happy now. He's a papi. उन्होंने तांग कर दाम दोसी. But imagine when a Gursikh dies, even people who don't know you, they attend. 30,000 people. This is a picture of all the political leaders at the time. Sant Janai Singh, Bhai Manvir Singh Jee, the Jethedar of Akatak at the time. You've got even Badal, the Chief Minister of Punjab is standing there as well. There's a picture of him with his beard tied up. What happened? This was the wake-up call. Sikhs are being oppressed. Punjabis are being oppressed. Now this is the wake-up call. Look, we are really being attacked left, right, centre. So Sant Janai Singh, he led a Taram Yudh Morcha, which basically means a morcha means protest, yudh means battle. A protest battle for Taram, righteousness. We're going to stand up for who we are. We're going to stand up for our rights. We're going to stand up for our identity. We're not going to be walked all over. We are not second-class citizens. We gave our blood and sweat to making India independent. Why shouldn't we be part of India? Why shouldn't we be part of India's glory? Why shouldn't we be part of India's success as well? So that started. Then if we go to Operation Blue Star, this is now the end of coming towards the end. All of this led to the Indian government attacking Akal Takht Sahib, the throne of the Sikhs, made by Guru Har Gobind Ji, the 6th Guru, and bombing the Golden Temple complex. What happened is that the Indian government became very wary about Sant Janai Singh and the Sikhs. These guys are asking for their rights. Similar to Nelson Mandela. He's a good guy, isn't he? He asked, what did he ask for? What did Nelson Mandela ask for? Freedom of view. The black people. And what did the government do? They put him into prison. Why? Because people become very power hungry. They don't like people asking for freedom. Sant Janai Singh, there had no criminal activity. Apne bande gaye Sant Janai Singh atavadi si. It's very sad. Very sad. But the fact is that the Indian police or the Indian government had no registered case of Sant Janai Singh or any of the Sikhs committing any terrorist activities. You're only a terrorist if you do terrorist activities. But they've labelled and brandished the Sikhs as terrorists. That these people are this, they're asking for this, they're asking for their separate country. Sant Janai Singh was asked by a media reporter, do you want a separate country? Do you want Khalistan? Khalistan was actually more idea was given by the journalists. Sikhs, that you've seen what they wanted. To see Khalistan mangde ya, Sant Janai Singh saying, nahi. What asi ki mangde ya, we are happy to be part of India. We're asking that you respect our rights as being Sikh. But if we are offered Khalistan, if we are offered a separate homeland, asi 1947 wali galti nahi karoge, you will not make the same mistake as we did in 1947. Makes sense to everybody? We're not asking for Khalistan. All we're doing is we're asking for our rights. But again, we mix up all this information with propaganda. So what happens then? The Indian government then plans to attack if you go to the next, the Golden Temple complex. The Indian government, after this Operation Blue Star, they produced a white paper. A white paper means their justification of why they did it. In there, they said, "Asi is karke attack kita." That there were 38 people, 38 named terrorists who are hiding. The word hiding in the Golden Temple complex. 38 terrorists who are a threat to the stability of India. Okay, everybody got that? Then, later in the Indian Parliament, the Congress party, when the opposition asked them about this, the Indian government admitted, the Congress party admitted in Lok Sabha, this is all public information, that out of the 38 terrorists, guess how many were actually in there? Out of the 38 people they mentioned that these people are the people we're going to get, guess how many were actually within the complex? 5? Anyone else? 2. 2 people were Sant Janel Singh and Bhai Manvir Singh Federation. There were the 2 people out of the 38 list. Where are the other people? Some were in America, some were in Britain, some were in Europe, and some were in Pakistan. And we are the thick ones. We are the thick ones for believing what the government said. We deserve this. Asi aap kehte hain pindwala atavadi hai pindwala kehte kutte lokadasi. Guru pyareo dhyan nal suno. That we'll go through some facts. This attack was planned in 1982. At that time, Sant Janel Singh was not living in Akal Takht. He was not living within the Golden Temple complex, 1982. He was living in the accommodation blocks further down, but not within Akal Takht. But the Indian government, General S.K. Sinha, who was a retired general, he admits, and he's written in the Spokesman newspaper, if I can remember correctly, in September 1984, that this operation was planned 2 years before. They made a replica of the Golden Temple and Akal Takht, and the government planned how they would attack. So it's nothing to do with Sant Janel Singh. Asi ab mere varge bevkoof ya aur loki bevkoof ya jehde kehde oh what to go there, and asi Sant Janel photo nahi changni. We're scared to put their pictures. Why? We might think we're militants. We are so brainwashed and so silly that we can't even get to the facts. Have you thought that independence was what's the truth? But we are just that scared that asi are something that we can't call ourselves sick. Sindhi Kapli Mahmood, she was a anthropologist, and she says Sikh is someone who stands up for the truth and speaks the truth. And that hit me hard. Someone who stands up for the truth. How much do we do that? Okay, so the 2 so-called militants which they want to get out of the Golden Temple complex. If you want to get 3 people out of this Gurdwara in Gillingham, what would the normal action be, you reckon?
To go in, get them to
Send the police in, so the local Gillingham police would come here, arrest 3 people, not rocket science, not that hard. You go there, or you send in commandos or the special force police officers to go there, get 3 people and bring them out. That's it. But what do they use? If you go ahead, what did they use? They used, they used chemical gas and tanks. They used 4 military tanks. 4 military tanks into the Golden Temple complex to get 2 people out, and we're saying that we deserved it. We're saying Sant Janel Singh deserved it. Oh, wo the atavadi si. Asi inne bevkoof hai. 4 military tanks get 2 people out. You have to get chemical gas is banned by the UN Convention for War. United Nations has banned the use of chemical weapons in war. And what does the Indian government do? They attack with chemical weapons. Anyone know what was the special day, what was the special festival when this attack happened?
I think it was
Guru Arjan Dev Shahidi. Guru Arjan Dev Ji, the 5th Guru, his martyrdom day. If you go to martyrdom day, if you used to go to the Gurpurab day, that day in June time, Golden Temple complex, Amritsar is ram-packed. Some Sangat. People sleep in the Parkarma, the marble area around the pool. The whole place is jam-packed. People just do mathate, people go to school, mathate. Of all days, they chose that day to attack. Maximum death. This was a genocide of the Sikhs. This was the Holocaust of the Sikhs. It was not an attack of to get militants out. On top of that, what happens in any war? When there's a war, the military has to give the civilians a chance to escape. So when you go to Iraq, you give the Iraqis a chance. We're going to start a war here. You can now leave the area. The Kharkous, the militants, the Sikh militants, they told the Sanghas, you can leave the Golden Temple complex. There's no battle's going to happen. They told Sanghas to leave. But the Indian government, they quarantined the whole complex and no one could leave, enter or leave. Even a young child, if you want to escape from the Darbar Sahib, you cannot escape. You're part of it. Okay, just going to end with this and then move on because a lot of time I'm cautious because we have to wrap up the day as well with people as well. 70,000 to 150,000 soldiers used. I don't want to do a half-baked talk because there's no point of us coming here to talk about 9/11 and just doing a half talk. That's why you should talk fully. So I'm not going to just rush too much either. 150,000 soldiers used. 9 infantry divisions, paramilitary forces, and also helicopters were used, which are converted into gunships. Again, remember 2 people getting out, Sant Janai Singh, Bhai Manvir Singh Federation. That 150,000 soldiers. 150,000 people to. Okay, imagine let's imagine Sant Janai Singh, his followers who have got guns, they're maximum 200 people. Even 200 to 150, that means there's 600 to 1. 600 to 1. Keep that in mind. Okay. These are pictures of Unadinad. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Give us ahead. There are reasons why this is happening, but that's a bit too complex, so I'm not going to go through. Basically, in short, independent sources tell us that this was all done as a political stunt to basically show, to get the majority Hindu votes, to show them that vote for Congress Party, that we are sorting out the Sikh problem. These so-called Sikh militants or Sikh activists who are shouting and screaming that we want our rights, we are dealing with these guys. Just like in apartheid, why did we put Nelson Mandela in prison? Because the whites were going, well, we're not very happy. So the government puts Nelson Mandela in prison just to please the whites, so the whites vote for the government. This is a picture of the armies. They're raiding. If you go back, this is a Christian Science Monitor magazine. For 5 days, Punjab has been cut off from the rest of the world. All telephone, telex links are cut. No foreigners are permitted entry on Tuesday. All Indian journalists were expelled. There are no newspapers, no trains, no buses, not even a bullock cart can move. Punjab was cut off. You cannot use the phone. You cannot use the television either. Why? Indian government cut it off because they knew what they were going to do was a genocide. They knew what they were going to do was a Holocaust. They knew what they were going to do was mass murder. So you just cut off telephone. So you cut off the television. You cut off no journalists. Journalists were arrested. No one was allowed to take pictures. Why have you got no pictures of 1984, clear ones? Because no one was allowed. All the pictures taken are smuggled out of Punjab by journalists. If you go next one. The first Shaheed of 1984, of June Operation Blue Star. On 1st June, the battle starts. The Indian government, again, Sant Janai Singh told the Sikhs, no one is to fire at the Indian army. A Sikh does never attack, we only defend. The Indian army fires first bullets at Baba Atarai Gurdwara, which is a huge tower. If you've been to Amritsar, it's a huge tower, 9 stories high. By Manvir Singh Babbar was there as a guard, Peridar, and a bullet came and hit him at the forehead. And that's a picture of his mother just after he's passed away, saying the last. It says, Bete di mata valo aakhri fateh Vaheguru ji ka khasa Vaheguru ji ki fateh. That's the last fateh to her son when he's been killed in there. This is again this is a Irish anthropologist, Irish university lecturer from Belfast. His name is Joyce Pettigrew. It was an attack not to eliminate political figure. This is what Gore is saying. Apne bande hai bevkoofi, apne bande ke we deserve it. That's why we don't want to celebrate March 984. That's why we got no pictures. We don't mention it in Ardas. We have no counterpart for 984 Shaheeds because we think we deserve it. We think we are terrorists. But that's what Gore is saying. Gore is not Gore is saying it was an attack not to eliminate a political figure or a political movement, but to suppress a culture of people, to attack their heart, to strike a blow in their spirit, self-confidence. The army, which had suffered a heavy toll in the 3 days of battle, went berserk. And listen, they said we're going to get Sant Janai Singh and Shaheed and Bhai Manvir Singh. Listen to what this says, and they killed every Sikh man, woman and child who could be found inside the temple complex. They were hauled out the roofs and brought to corridors of the circumference of the temple, and with their hands tied behind their backs, were shot in cold blood. Our brothers and sisters were shot in cold blood, and we said, oh, the jana hai, oh, the attabadi nu mariya changa hai. It's sad that some Sikhs, they gave the killers of the Sikhs srope, they honored them. It's very sad. And it's very sad that we have no pictures of Shaheed Bhai Manvir Singh. We have no pictures of their Akal, so that young children, when this young girl, when she gets older, she will be able to say that, oh, this is my history. she might say, 40 years ago, this happened to my community. There were great Sikhs who stood up for Sikhi then as well, and may I be inspired as well. But we're not giving our children that because we're scared. But I hope that, especially Benji sitting here, that you will get some inspiration, that you'll realise that you don't be these, nobodies. You don't be just these random girls who go out clubbing, wear just ashleel kapre, wearing I'm being honest. You go to watch Brick TV Asia, watch what's happening. Even the Monday, you see the picture, khande, bar katte, waliyan coming down, this, that, big khande tattoos, your car's got big khande, and this, that, Sikhi. If you go to universities, who does the most art? Sikh girls, Indian girls. I'm at uni and I've been at other unis. I've been in a uni now, went to King's College Uni as well. I used to work in the halls of residence and get drunk girls, apne Punjabi kuriyan, drunk girls staggering, when they see me, they're turned the other way. Very sad. Afsoos nahi kar liya. But I want, my kirpa and my ardas is that my sisters, they become like that Gauri Singh in the video we saw. They're proud that we build these inspirational characters. We built this Baba Deep Singh, Baba Banda Singh Bhader back again. Because you can't. If you're drinking, boozing mother who has no self-respect and a father's too busy in the pub, no one bothers about telling your children about Sikh history, then you're going to know Baba Deep Singh. There'll be no Baba Banda Singh Bhader, no Mai Parko being born. Jamana ki ya, oi bacche jamane ya, would they be born kanna vich mundra, fag in their mouth, probably swear at their own mum and dad. I've seen cases like that. Look, your maa baap come to me and say, "Sade bacche sanu gala kadde ya." Why? There's no part in the house, there's no simmer in the house. We're just empty vessels. So it's up to us. This is the Golden Temple complex. Like I said, it's not a small place. Like the Vatican City is a huge place. So when we say Golden Temple, it's not just the Gurdwara in the middle of this big lake and that's it. It's a huge complex. The Baba Atal Gurdwara Sahib, there's the Babek Sahib Gurdwara Gahan Jaake vi, and you got the Langar Hall there, Guru Ramdas Rai, Nanak Nawaz Rai, Akal Takht here. So that's just to give you a bit of a map of what a place is. So you got an entrance here, and then you got entrance here, and entrance the back side as well. And that's the Akal Takht, the throne of the Sikhs. Okay. This is the Akal Takht. Takht means throne, Akal means God. God's throne, made by the 6th Guru. Anytime anybody wanted to attack the Sikhs, they always attacked Akal Takht. Whether it was the Mughals, whether it was Afghans or any other nation, they always attacked Akal Takht. They always destroyed that building first. When the Mughals wanted, there was a price on the heads of Sikhs. Our great-grandparents, they had a price on their heads. You couldn't wear the star. That's why a lot of Bibia nowadays don't tie the star. It's a reminiscent of that history. Because during that time, when Zakaria Khan put a price on the head of Sikhs, many Sikh women who wore the stars, they took off the stars or they were killed. So either they were killed and we lost them, or they took the star off to mingle in with the normal Punjabi ladies, because otherwise you don't have an identity. So that's why many of our history, our identity got lost. And during this time when the Sikhs were being terminated, that's the word, terminated, their Akal Takht was always destroyed by every single ruler. 6 times it's been destroyed, 6 times. And this is what happened when the Indian government came. This is again, ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਬੇਵਕੂਫ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਆਪ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਅੱਤਵਾਦੀ ਸੀ ਉੱਤੇ, ਚੰਗੇ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਚੰਗੇ ਆ, ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਗੋਰੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਆ, who say what happened was a genocide. This is a Hindu, he very sad, he passed away just a few days ago. Ram Narayan Kumar, Ram da Pyara. He's born in a Tamil Brahmin family, very well-respected human being. He read many books about Sikhs. He had no connection to the Sikhs. He read the news in 1984 what happened to the Sikhs, and since that day he's been fighting for the Sikhs. He was abused himself, harassed by the police himself, but Rabda Pyara, he didn't give up. Or we might get, come under the watchful eye of the Indian government if we say this, that, the other. But that they speak up for the truth than us. We're too scared to mention 1984 in the Ardas. How many Gurdwara in the UK? Kinne Gurdwara Ardas karde 1984 di Shaheedan waste? How many Gurdwaras have our Shaheed brothers and sisters, their pictures in the Gurdwara? We're too ashamed. But Rabda Pyara is very much blessed. He writes, the Operation Blue Star was not only envisaged and rehearsed in advance, meticulously and in total secrecy, it also aimed at obtaining maximum number of Sikh victims, largely devout pilgrims, unconnected with the political agitation. The facts should speak for themselves. This is Akal Takht Sahib, detailed. Black debris, blood stain. Our holy throne, which I'll show you a picture just previously, that is that scene now. Our throne, which that 6th Guru made, the throne of God, which the Sikhs say that's our parliament, or we say that's our holy throne, that was destroyed to that. This is what happened to us. And just in addition to this, I'd like to mention that the Sikh reference library was also burnt down. Were there militants hiding in there? Were the books militants? Were handwritten Guru Granth Sahib Ji Swaroops militants? That they were burnt as well. That's what you need to keep in mind. Our history, our heritage is burnt down as well. This is the guy I mentioned, I've already mentioned this, and retired Lieutenant General S.K. Sinha, like I said, spokesman on 16th July 1984. I've already mentioned this quote. They planned 18 months in advance in doing this. So it's nothing, they have to do with Sant Janai Singh Katna Singh. There's nothing to do with Sant Janai Singh. We went there because we had planned it. Imagine what I told you at the beginning. How many people were in the side of the complex which the government had on their papers? They wanted to get out. How many? 2. According to the Lok Sabha, Indian Parliament, they admit that 2 people need to get out. Sant Janai Singh and Bhai Manvir Singh. And 2 bandne they have 1, 2, 3, 4 military tanks. That's a very blurry picture. That's the Golden Temple complex just outside. You can see the marble area. 4 military tanks are brought inside the Golden Temple complex. 4 military tanks. This picture here, anyone guess where this picture is taken off? There's a military tank inside the complex. Do you know where we go and we bathe in the Sarovar, in the Holy Lake, and the marble area around it? That's with inside. It's actually come inside. 1 tank came inside to blow up, and they literally blew out the Sikhs. They didn't flush out the Sikhs, they blew out the Sikhs of Darbar Sahib.
Is it true that cans broke down?
Hanji. If you remind me, I'm going to come to that and I'll mention Bibi Satnam Kaur Waheguru Kaur. I'll mention a story and I'll mention that. Thanks for bringing that. Hanji. Death squads, Guardian newspaper, England the newspaper. Sikhs were shot at point blank range, their hands tied behind their backs with their turbans. It's a virtual massacre. It was a virtual massacre, and the Sikh and the Indian government white papers claim no innocent civilians were killed. That's what the Indian government said. Because no Begusul Banda was killed. Why would the Guardian newspaper have to lie? A large number of women, children, pilgrims were gunned down, and in there it said no women or children were killed. You can see pictures, very blurry pictures. Sardar Ji, Amartari Singh, Dastar Lai Gai. And this is the same treatment with the Granthi Singhs. The Granthi Singhs during Kirtan was shot down. The first time in recent history that the Kirtan, the non-stop Kirtan in the Golden Temple complex stopped in recent history. Even other Granthis were hauled up and shot. And this is the Parkarma during the marble eggs, all full with bodies. You can see it's a very unclear picture there. Again, I'm not going to read through all these, you can read the quotes yourself. The Indian government claimed that we went in there with prayers in our lips and humility in our hearts. That's a quote from General Barar, who was the main person in charge of the operation. Prayers on our lips, humility in our hearts. We went with so much nimirta. This is how they treated this innocent Sikhs. Their bodies were being dragged. These innocent people are being killed. They treated them like meat. Do you know like a butcher treated meat? You can see it's all self-explanatory. I don't need to speak. It speaks for itself. Parkarma, full of bodies. That's what you believe, isn't it? That's why Ajkal Gurdwara is Pindrada Narina Sant Janai. Oh my gosh, don't say that name. Oh gosh. No picture of Sant Janai Singh. Why? Oh, Adavadi, Adavadi no Kadra si Andrane. Then why? This is again Sinthi Kapli Mahmood, Musalmani, American university lecturer. This lady, Tanya Gori, she was gang raped by Indians. In 1984, she decided to research the Sikhs. She went to Punjab. She was in Bengal side. She was a university lecturer, academic. She told her staff that I'm going to go to Punjab and study the Sikhs and see what's happening with these guys. They said, do not write anything about the Sikh. Do not research them. She then goes to Punjab. She doesn't listen to them. When they make their mind, they just follow their mind. It's very good of them. She goes to Punjab. She goes there. She is given a warning. A discreet warning she's given. do not study or research the Sikhs. Do not. They didn't want all of this information to be revealed. A book, Fighting for Faith and Nation, you can buy on Amazon, is Gauri Nirkia. She's written many books about the Sikhs. She refused and carried on. She started research, and this is the research she's done. And do you know what they did? A car comes, blacked out windows, a gang comes out, about 5 men. She's written that in her book, Fighting for Faith and Nation. They come out of the car, they take her into an alleyway, Punjab di gall hai, and in the gully they gang rape her. They gang rape her and say to her, do not research the Sikhs, we have warned you. The rapist said that. But Tanya Bibi, she was raped, but she still carried on to research Sikh. She went and she interviewed people, she wrote down documentaries. If it wasn't for people like this, we would lose all of our history. Everything in 1984 which happened to us, we would lose it because we were just believing what the Indian government's saying. But Tanya Gauri, that she actually documented what's happening firsthand. And she was even willing to pay the price of being raped. Our Gurdwara are not even willing to pay the price of someone might, oh, why have you got some Janai Singh on the Shida? Why do you want to Shida? We're too scared to do that. And this Gauri, inna sidak that she was willing to be raped, willing to go through any torture but to speak the truth. You can see what's written there. Again, she writes 70,000 troops in conjunction with use of tanks, chemical gas, killed not only a few dozen militants who didn't manage to escape the battleground, but also hundreds, and possibly thousands of innocent pilgrims. The day of the attack being the Sikh holy day, their garb was reduced to rubble, and the Sikh reference library, an irreplaceable collection of books, manuscripts burned to the ground. Now, at their attention, 37 other shrines were attacked across Punjab. Anyone know which Gurdwara is this? Hanji?
Takht Sri Keskar Sahib.
Takht Sri Keskar Sahib. Takht Sri Keskar Sahib भी इतने हमला होया सी इतने संगत लोग गोलियां मारे गए. ये बस hanji बस.
ਉਹ ਮਾਰੀ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿਣੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ 37 ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸੀਗੇ ਨਾ ਇਤਿਹਾਸਕ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਇਤਿਹਾਸਕ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ.
ਜਿੱਥੇ ਦਾਸ ਨੇ ਪਾਠ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਨਾ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਰਾਮਪੁਰ ਖੇੜਾ ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਇਤਿਹਾਸਕ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ. ਉੱਚੇ ਥਾਂ ਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਲੇ ਦੁਆਲੇ ਟੈਂਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਘੇਰਿਆ ਸੀ. ਨਾਲ ਵਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜੇ ਗਈ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੋਈ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਸਨ ਨਾ ਉਹ 4 ਜਨਵਰੀ 1983 ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਚੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਕਰ ਗਏ ਸੀ. ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਸਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦੂਕ ਰੱਖ ਲਈ ਸੀ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੱਥ ਖੜੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਹਿਤਾ ਬੰਦੂਕ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਲੈ ਲਓ. ਮੇਰਾ ਕਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੋਈ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਇਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ
ਇਹ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੈਗੇ
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਮ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਉਣ ਜਾਣ ਸੀ. ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੇ ਘਰਦਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਵਾ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ 77 ਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਇਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ 2 ਸਾਲ ਭਿੰਡਰਾਂ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਹਾ. ਸੰਤ ਜਰਨੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਸੇਵਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਤੇ 77 ਚ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ. 2 ਸਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਰਿਹਾ ਭਿੰਡਰਾਂ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਘਰਦਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਘੋੜਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਿੰਘ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਾਮਪੁਰ ਖੇੜੇ. ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਇਹ 38 ਨੇ ਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਸੀਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਜਿੰਦੂ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਨਾ. ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊ.
ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਬਹੁਤ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕੀਤੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ. As far as more than these are only historical ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਔਰ ਮਨੀ ਸਮੂਹ ਪਿੰਡ ਦੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਦੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਹਮਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ. So in short, that was ਪਿੰਡਰਾਂ ਵਾਲੇ these ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ was by Manvir Singh Federation ਵਾਲੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਐਸੀ no. So you can see this is a systematic Sikh ਕੌਮ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ that this is to get rid of the Sikh nation, to kill maximum people. You can see innocent people, Sangat, army there, and they fired. I did something at Takht Dandama Sahib. And the SGPC staff there, the Gurdwara staff, they said that only Suchasi Takht Dandama Sahib, they got all the Granthis and the SGPC staff in a line and they fired bullets and they shot all of them dead. They was that bad that they would get the guns, the army people, and they would get the guns, lift Maharaj's Ramalli, the material covering Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, and lift them and poke their guns underneath Maharaj's manji to see whether there's so-called Atwadi terrorists underneath. You can see the amount of disrespect which was happening to the Sikhs. So you can see you to really wake up. Inna scare hoya, inna julm hoya, this much tyranny, and we are forgetting this. And like, for example, I'm very thankful that Bhai Sahib's here, we learned something. We should have more awareness that we have opportunities that Bhai Sahib and other people, they can share their stories in Gurdwara, with children, at camps, in classes, even the main Sangat. We should be able to share this information, Hanji. Or I mentioned chemical gas. Can anybody notice there was something different on the heads of these guys? They all wearing chemical, the goggles to cover their masks. Why? Because they threw chemical gas in Golden Temple complex. Can you imagine innocent women and children? Innocent people just going to Matha Day to celebrate Guru Arjan Dev Ji's martyrdom day. And what happened to them? They were gassed. These guys are gassed because they had masks. This is evidence that the Sikhs, why use gas? A gas doesn't go just to a militant, does it? A gas doesn't go to a terrorist, does it? The gas goes to everybody. So this is evidence that they were trying to destroy and kill every Sikh they saw. Now going on, illegal detention, disappearances, false encounters. This is a Punjab phenomenon. False encounters, jhoote muqable, Punjabi kehande hain, which is a fictitious armed engagement as a cover-up for police killing a detainee. This actually started in Argentina. When they wanted to get rid of youngsters, what they do is they arrest them, put them into prison, then they torture them in prison, and then once they torture them so badly that they die in prison, they get their body and take it outside. They put it into either a field or a road, and then they stage it, they make like a drama out of it by taking a few photographs, pretending that there was an armed battle, that these guys started firing bullets at them, we fired them and killed them. Try to cover up that they tortured the person. Make sense? That's what jhoota muqabla or false encounter. Joyce Pettigrew, this is an Irish lady, she goes, became daily events, such disappearances, illegal detention continue to occur. Come back to the after. You can see this is a young child who were killed as well. Again, these pictures should be in Gurdwara. So we do see that this is what happened to us. Jewish people, if you go to a synagogue or their Holocaust memorial days, Jewish people, they have pictures of all the people that were killed by Hitler, only photo lying on there. I've got a picture at the end of my album. They remember that these people died. Hitler killed these people. But do we remember that the people who were killed by the Indian government? Again, there's many, I'm not going to read that quote. This Indian politician in 1984, he basically said the whole thing was made up. It was a conspiracy. He's part of Indian, he's a politician, he's an MP, member of parliament. He says it's made up. Even these weapons, all these weapons put to display, when Gyani Jaz and the President of India went to see Golden Temple complex, there were eyewitness accounts saying that there were truckfuls of army trucks, full of weapons, coming into Amritsar and dumping all the weapons into the Golden Temple complex, just to show that these guys had loads of weapons. They were dumping the weapons just so that the media could see. Okay. Jathadar Sant Janel Singh. Jathadar because he is Jathadar of Dalnu Tuksar, a school which teaches Path and Santhya. And these are small quotes. There's a picture which came to be Sant Janel Singh's body as well. For all I know, he Pindrawala is completely innocent. This is Arjun Shawn, India Express. He also, to my understanding, all these people are both Hindus. I think Veer Sanghvi, he also is an advisor to the BJP government, what was for the government. So these people are involved with the government and press. In 1982, they robbed up Pindrawala. He is completely innocent and is genuinely and exclusively dedicated to the teachings of the Guru. No mention of terrorists, no mention of militant, no mention of separatists. ये तो बस पाठ कीर्तन तो सिक्खी सिखा रहे हैं, the teaching सिक्खी.
मान लीजिए मैं ऐड कर दूँ, अलाउ करूँ तुझे. हाँ जी क्योंकि मैं इन्हां दे नाल 2 साल रहा पिंडराले जंदे तो असी इन्हां दे घर प्रसादा भी छकते हैं. असी छोटे बच्चे सां उस वेले सातों तगड़े सन 20 बाणियां 20 बाणियां 5 ग्रंथी च सारी 5 ग्रंथी इन्होंने याद सी. अच्छा फिर इन्नी ठंड पैंदी सी लागे जाके आ ज्ञानी तुसीं सुनिया हो ज्ञानी ठाकर सिंह पटियाले वाले उस तो बहुत भारा होया मेरे तो 4-5 साल छोटा ਤੇ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੁੱਕਾ ਸ਼ੀਨਕਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੋਹਕਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਗਤਕਬੜਾ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਭਤੀਜਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਵਰਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਉਹ ਲਾਲਾ ਮਾਰਿਆ. ਹਾਂਜੀ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਨ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ 22 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਸੀ. ਕਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਆ ਵੀ ਏਡੀ ਭਲੀ ਪਰਸਨੈਲਿਟੀ ਸਨ ਇਹ ਤੇ ਅਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਵਿੱਤਰਤਾ ਭੁੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ. ਹੈਗੇ ਕਮਿਟਡ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਅਜਿਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸਾਡੇ ਭਾਗਾਂ 'ਚ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ, ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ? ਕੁਝ ਕਾਰਨ ਹਨ। ਤੇ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਨੋਟਿਸ ਕੁਦਰਤੀ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਚੰਗਾ ਸਮਝਦਾ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਰਗੀ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ ਲਾਗੇ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੋਲ ਨਾ ਜਾਓ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਇੰਨੀ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਸਨ। ਕਿਸੇ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਸ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ, ਗਣੇਸ਼ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਟ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੁਨੇਹਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਸੁਨੇਹਾ ਭੇਜਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣ। ਉਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਮਿਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਲਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਨਾਮ ਜਪਿਆ ਕਰੋ। ਇਹ ਫਿਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ 'ਚ। ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਸ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਉਸ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਠੀਕ ਹੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ। ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਪਰਸਨਲ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਆ, ਇਹ ਬੜੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਉੱਚੇ ਸਨ, ਬਹੁਤ ਉੱਚੀ ਪਰਸਨੈਲਿਟੀ ਸੀ, ਬੜੀ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਉਮਰ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਸ਼ੈਲਟਰ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਈਦਾ, ਤੇ ਰੁੱਖ ਦੇ ਹੇਠਾਂ ਮੀਂਹ ਬੜੇ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸਨ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੰਨੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਮੈਂ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ,
ਇਹਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਬਾਬੂ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਕਸ਼ੇ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ।
Anybody, my cousin as well.
ਨਹੀਂ ਸੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਚੁੱਪ ਕੋਲ ਲਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ।
You can always tell like a saint person, and he was a saint. And just after 1984, and 1986 ਦੀ ਗੱਲ, 1982, 1982, now after ਕਲੋਕਾਰਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਲਿਖਦੇ? ਵੀਰ ਸੰਘ ਵੀ writes, whatever Bhindranwala's involvement, the government had no concrete evidence, and the ministry thought it unadvisable to arrest him on a flimsy case, pay attention, flimsy case, only to have him acquitted and transformed into a hero. Basically, the government had no case to arrest him. Arrest karange, shadna pena, he's a hero. So that's what we need to really have pictures of great saints like that, great heroes in our Gurdwara. So we can't, but children should know who Sant Janel Singh is, who Bhai Manvir Singh is as well. And the only way that these images, they are very powerful. If you just go on, let's go from the end. Again, Indian Army said that well, we went inside with humility in our hearts, prayer on our lips, and stories there when people begged for water and they were forced to drink mixture of blood and urine on the ground. Okay, picture of basically.
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਪੀਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰਿਮਾਈਂਡ ਕਰਾਂਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭਗਤ ਪੂਰਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਪਿੰਗਲਵਾੜੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਪਦਮ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਵਾਪਸ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਸ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ 'ਚ 2-3 ਪਾਸਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ 1-2 ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਆਈਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਖੂਬੀ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਜਦ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਨੋਸੈਂਟ ਪੀਪਲ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਲਕੱਤੇ ਇੱਧਰੋਂ ਉੱਧਰੋਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਗਏ, ਉਹ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਮੰਗਿਆ। ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਸੀ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਘੁੱਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਣਾ। ਇੱਦਾਂ ਤੰਗ ਕਰਕੇ ਮਾਰੇ ਹੋ।
You can see, I'm not going to read through all the quotes, you can see the treatment of Gursikhs there, ਲਾਠੀ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਆ, ਹੱਥ ਬੰਨੇ ਗਏ ਆ। ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਸਰੂਪ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਰਣਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਸਰੂਪ, bullet has gone through ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਸਰੂਪ।
ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜੀ 4 ਪੀੜ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ, ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਲਿਖੀਆਂ ਆ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਉਦੋਂ 4 ਤਖਤ ਸੀਗੇ, ਹੁਣ ਖਾਲਸੇ ਨੇ 5 ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹ 4 ਤਖਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਉਹ ਬੀੜਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨਾ ਪਈਆਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ, ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਇਹ ਉਹੀ ਬੀੜ ਹੋਵੇ।
ਇਹ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕੋਈ ਤੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਰਣਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੀ ਲਿਖਤ ਉੱਪਰ ਉਹਨੇ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਸਾਂਭ ਕੇ ਰੱਖੀ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ। ਹਾਂਜੀ,
ਅੱਛਾ, ਫਿਰ ਠੀਕ।
ਆਹ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ this is the marble, and you can see it's still blood stained. Even today, ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕਣ ਜਾਓ, go to Amritsar. When you walk in Amritsar on the marble, remember that this golden temple, this Darbar Sahib, this Harmandir Sahib is made of the blood and sweat of the Sikh. We don't believe in pilgrimage, Tirth Yatra. Our Tirth Yatra is why we go there because Amritsar over there. That when we go there, we become so inspired by history. Because every time we look at the Golden Temple and Akal Takht Sahib, it reminds of our history. The blood and sweat of Sikhs. Even when you're walking there, you're reminded that this young children's blood was spilled there as well. 3 years old, 10 Sala Bacha. And again, this is Associated Press, this is not a Sikh press. A team of doctors examined 400 corpses, and out of them 15-20 were children, all under 5 years old. Yet the Indian government said we didn't do anything. Okay, if you go ahead. If you go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just skipping a few things, Hanji. Basically, in short, what if you go back one side? The guys who did this, Sundarji and also Vedya. This is from a book where his wife has written about her husband. He's this guy here. And just to show that there is some sort of justice, that at the end, after Operation Blue Star, Sundarji was a changed man. His laughter all but gone. He shrugged away my concern, assuring me I would get over it, but he never did. This is what he did. The guy who attacked the Darbar Sahib, I have been trained to fight an enemy, not to tackle our own kind. He admitted himself that they did not attack an enemy, they attacked their own people. So that's a show. So he eventually, he never smiled, never laughed till his last breath. Recently, Maria, he died as a vegetable. He couldn't move, he couldn't eat, he couldn't go to the toilet, and he just was basically just lying in a bed. Similar to General Dwyer, who did the Jallianwala Bagh, similar, his wife writes in his autobiography that after Jallianwala Bagh, Paris, this is to show there is some justice. That but there is justice.
एक गल ऐड करने वाली इत्थे उदों मैनू बड़ा तां सीगा टीपुर तो बाद गार्डियन से मैं कोशिश की एक दो चीज़ां देण दी उन्होंने बहुती छापियां दित्तियां पर आ जिहड़ी है ना जनरल डायर दी गल्लां ये उन्होंने जिहड़ी वो किताब सीगी मैनू हुण नाम भुल गया किते मेरी लिस्ट दे विच होवेगा वो किताब दा जिहड़ा सी ना टाइटल ओह चेंज करता सी उन्हें कि जे हिंदुस्तान की अपनी फौज हरमंदर साहब से हमला कर सकती है तो 99 असी जिहड़ा डायर ने उत्थे कीता वो जस्टिफाइड है इस करके उन्हें किताब का नाम भी चेंज करता सीगा ते किताब क्योंकि वो जींदा सी बंदा ते उन्हें ओहदा मूहरे पिक्चर भी चेंज करती सी मैनू बड़ा तकलीफ हुई भई इन्ने चेंज की पर की कर सकते असी उत्थों मेरा मतलब सानू ये मैसेज लैण की लोड़ आ भई जिन्ना चिर असी एज ए कम्यूनिटी एज ए पंथ if we do not assert ourselves very strongly in future we are going to die because nobody will know us.
You go ahead, skip that. Similar, basically this is General Barat, Santa Janasana Pindua means from the same village. They've got the same surname. Eri Barare, Santa Janasana Barar go this. Imagine the same ancestor, Baba, another Eku, their Babi Pradade, their great ancestors, the same. But he wrote a book, I've got this book at home, and this is a Muslim general, Musliman General, he basically discredits his book and says it's a load of rubbish. He said it's made of myths. Another Indian general says that this general's book is myth. Myth means jhoot, false. And there's a few things he's written that I'm not going to go. And basically in short he's written, if there are 200 to 250 weapons, if that's imagine 200 people with guns in the Golden Temple complex, majority of which were 12 bore guns and 303 rifles, where was the need to call the army? He even questions that we didn't need the army. Again, it's to that by some to destroy the Sikh nation, which we need to be very aware of. Anji, you can move ahead. Okay, this I want to come to the end. The battle took place, and the battle, is this we're remembering Operation Blue? So if you take out this Bandagarkin, and open the other one, Operation Remembering. Operation here should be Remembering. But if you just go to the corner here and get it out. Sorry, I just wanted to show you some. I was wondering why this has taken longer than I was supposed to, because this was a different presentation. Remember the Sikh Holocaust. That one, Remembering Sikh. Sorry. That's what this presentation was actually the Bristol one. That's what I'm not going to that's why I'm scripting loads of slides. It wasn't intended. If you go up, and just the mid. If you go down, just kick at the battle there. That's it. Up the battle. It says one up. Yeah, that's it. And if you just put that slide on. Okay, this is okay. So now I wonder, मैं भी आप लोग confused हो जाते that the slides aren't well supposed to be doing. What made the last slide? तो मैं तो पता. This is the last picture. जिन्ना मैंने research किती या. This is the. It was written underneath the picture. This is the last picture taken of Sant Janel Singh. Underneath the picture is Sant Janel Singh आपने जी ने Shidi Bana पाया. He's wearing Shidi Bana. This is the last kapre Sant Ji was wearing. It's a Kesari Dastar, Kesari Slopa. And the Citizens for Democracy, an independent Indian human rights group, they say there's 8,000 people died. And the battle was from 50 to 60 hours. 60 hours, can you imagine, about non-stop. The fighting was continuous. During June time, in Nigarmi, and to add to that, the Indian government cut off the pani. There's no water. The water's cut off. Bijli band kar deti. In India, so there's no pakke, there's no fans, no electricity, no water. You can't use your telephones. It's all cut off. You can't have enough food. They are firing continuously. In Nigarmi, if you're firing a gun, imagine how hot the gun gets. For 60 hours, the brave sons of Guru Gobind Singh Ji never stopped. They kept firing continuously. And there's A.R. Darshi. He's got a book, The Gallant Defender. A.R. Darshi. He's a Hindu. Joint Secretary of Punjab, former Joint Secretary of Punjab, part of the Indian Punjab government. He writes, opening book, I will give the quote. A.R. Darshi, Hindu Banda, part of the Punjab government, he writes that he describes these Sikhs as brave, courageous, valiant people. Hindu over there. He's part of the Punjab government. He says these are people are brave warriors. He goes, do you know what? They have no water, so how did they survive? A.R. Darshi writes that apna pasina poonj ke pita. Their sweat, imagine how sweat, June, you're in a small room, how hot it must be in India, they just got their sweat and they wetted their lips. What do they eat? On kei bande ka sikh meat kha sakde ya, da banda load of rubbish, nahi sikh. Jehde ek guru de sur mein aa, unhone ki khada? A.R. Darshi writes, shole, sukke shole, dry chickpeas, they ate. How much thori hone, and with that they fought. And A.R. Darshi, the former former Punjab government secretary, he writes, if they had 1/10 of the weapons of the Indian government, 150,000 soldiers here, 600 to 1. 600 to 1. He goes, if they had 1/10 of the Indian government's weapons, he goes, not only would they took all the army out of Punjab, they would even take the army beyond Delhi. They had that much courage, they Delhi to par kara dena si. They pushed the Indian government back. So again, some very inspiring stories. How do you remember these? By having pictures, images, by doing these type of talks. So these are a few pictures I've already shown. You can see the other view happened. So I've already gone through obviously because of the other slides you saw. If you go back one. So you've been to that's the Sikh reference library where all the Guru Granth Sahib Ji's Purane Swarup were kept, and also old history books were kept. And that's people, Indian soldiers posing as like trophy prize, or you can see in front of a Akal Takht Sahib. Anji. Okay, now Benji, I'm coming towards the end. Benji mentioned the military tanks. I know they spoke clear laugh. Guru di galla Sikh ihtihas di galla don't know, because it's something you need to learn, because unfortunately we don't talk about this very often, so when we do, we need to go do it very in quite detail. This is Gyani Mohar Singh, the Bibi Pritam Kaur, Bibi Sataram Kaur and Bhai Guru Kaur. Granthi Singh of Damni Tuksar, a Brahman hunde si. They listened to the katha, the vichar of Sant Kartar Singh, listened to that, they took Amrit. From being Hindus, BBG started trying Keski and took Amrit. Very inspiring that we feel ashamed to try this stuff, but they embrace Sikhi.
ਪਿੰਡਰਾਲੇ ਜਥੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਨਾ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਸੀ ਗ੍ਰੰਥੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਸੀ
ਅਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਰਿਆ ਹੈ ਪਾਠ 100 ਪਾਠ ਉਦੋਂ ਸੰਤ ਬਾਬਾ ਕਰਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਸਨ
ਹਾਂਜੀ Gyani Mohar Singh, he was in the main battle with Sant Janel Singh. Bibi Pritam Kaur and their 2 children, they were in the side rooms. Their seva was helping out Langar Pani Prashada. when Benji said the tanks, military tanks entered the Golden Temple complex, the marble area around the Sarovar, the holy lake pool. The tank entered, and when these two young children and Mataji saw the tanks coming, history says that they lied down in front of the Parkarma. Parkarma means a floor. They lied down and said that the army tanks have to go over their body. This is Bihar. How old are they? 4 and 6. 4 saal, 6 saal. 4 and 6. They said that army tanks, if they're going to come, they go over our dead body. Inna pyar Guru vaste. 4 and 6. We say 4 saal, 6 saal. Oh, we have low expectations. Oh, you do 5 more the pass. Oh, whatever. Have a happy sticker. These kids are Bardari. These kids are doing Satabani and Nithanim. These kids are doing Simran. These kids know about their history. That's why they could give Shahidi. That's why they could give martyrdom. They knew about the Shote Sahibs out there. They knew about Mata Gujri Kaur. They knew who their father is, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. That's why they could give Qurbani. But we don't know our history. We don't know who we are. We have no Japji Sahib part. I remember Bhai Sarjeet Singh Khalsa camp. He said, Bina Japji Sahib the part, the banda Sikh apne mulk da akhwa sakda. Without, you don't recite Japji Sahib part every day, daily, how can you call yourself a Sikh? Bina Japji to Sikh nahi ho sakda. Which is very true. These kids had Bani, Simran in them, that's why they give Shahidi. And Benji said, the tank, at Baba Deep Singh's Jagah, the tank stopped. It couldn't go ahead. The power of Guru Maharaj, the tanks, they got dismantled, and from there they had to fire. They wanted to go right up to Jakarta and fire, but they got dismantled at Baba Deep Singh Jagah. Okay, I'll go ahead. Afterwards they celebrated. I want to share one personal story, not my personal story, but what someone told me. I was in a camp, just like we're here sitting here today talking about 1984. We were sitting in Germany, and Baji was sharing his story. He was there at the time. He was a young child, about 10, 11 years old, and his brother was disabled, Bihindrasi. His legs didn't work. His brother, he had to have on his back, and he said there was a lot of gunfire, this, that, the other. That all the women and children, they went to some particular rooms, and all the women and children stayed there. He goes that the army, they shut off the water and electricity, so no pakke. He goes, rooms were jam-packed. Inne bande baithe kade ulti garmi na utte mari jande si. You know, we feel a bit hot here. Imagine this is jam-packed. And then what they said, he goes that there were people who were dying of thirst. On 6th June, the Indian army, on a loudspeaker phone, they said that battle is over. Jarnail Singh was marwa dita hai, the battle is over. Now we've killed Sant Jarnail Singh, the battle is over. That's what the Indian army announced. And so they go, Jib, if there's anybody left, come out with your hands up. At that point, the Singh who I was speaking to, he said that his mother was about to die. Maranwari Si Mataji. I've met them in Germany, they live in Cologne. And they said that his mum was about to die, so we're going to buy the Lord see. So his mum gave, there was a glass in the room, they took a glass, and he went outside, and they had to put the arms up. And it was an order that all men had to take off their kurte and banana. You were not to wear a vest, because just in case you've got weapons underneath. And women just had to keep their hands up. So the Singh, he took off his banana, took off his kapre, diskalla kashara, and he went outside. Imagine how frightened a 10-11-year-old kid. He went outside with this glass, and there was a Bahari soldier, an East Indian soldier. He said, what do you want? He goes, my mum is about to die, Ma Marnwariya, please, can you give me some water? He goes, go and get water from the Sarovar. Don't worry, you might live a few more days. We're going to kill all you lot anyway. Again, it was evident they had come to kill everybody. He goes, main pani parya. The glass he filled up, and he goes, it was full of blood. It was red colour. Lal rang si, pani da. He took it back and he wetted his mum's lips. She survived, Guru's Kirpan. There was a German BB, a journalist, stuck in the room. What happened then, the army announced that we now say to everybody, you can come down, women and children, please come down. So what they did, 25 women and children, 25 women and children went outside with their hands up. As soon as they went down the stairs, they were fired, and all 25 women and children were gunned down. Then, eventually, Baji and his disabled brother, they came out. They were put into prison for 6 months. 6 mahine jail ch rakhya gaya. They were forced to eat kaddu di sabji with keere in it for 6 months. Imagine eating that. Imagine eating. Do you know we get tired? Oh, mom, you made aloo gobi again. We get that. Oh, dabara da sabji ka. Imagine that. Near oh Gursikh. They just and they go eating up. There's a spit in there as well. Imagine that as a spit, but you have to majboori, you have to eat it. And that Gori, the German journalist, she was in prison for 6 months as well. And the disabled brother, can you imagine? He can't work. A disabled kid, he was put in prison for 6 months as well. So these are real big things we need to research. Even today, I can't tell you much. We need to research these things so we know what's happened, and we need to raise awareness. Haji. Coming to the end now of the timeline. Now this has happened. Now we're going to move on. Ki hoya, Sikh history declares. Sikh history it shows us that anybody who attacks our Harmandir, anybody who attacks Guru Granth Sahib Swarup, they are never spared. And then Indira Gandhi's bodyguards by Satyavan Singh, by Byan Singh, they delivered justice and she was assassinated. But as a consequence of this, what happened is they were anti-Sikh genocide in Delhi, in front India, to be honest. That as a consequence of Indira Gandhi being shot, throughout India, particularly Delhi, also Kolkata, also other places, Kanpur, also Bombay, there's attacks everywhere. There were mobs sent out with the lists. The politicians provided lists of Sikh houses, so you knew where to go, where to find people. You go to the house, get people out, even from bus. This coach has been stopped, and a Sardar has been. It's very unclear. These are all pictures taken, on the spot. A Sardar has been taken out from the bus and being basically stoned or beaten to death by the mobs. They were saying, "Khoon ka badla khoon, kach kara pej diyo Pakistan." Basically, all these calling that we want to kill the Sikhs in a way. This Gurdwara there, if you go back, a Gurdwara being attacked by a mob. This another train, a Sikh Sardar's body lying there. A Sikh man, you can see him wearing the kara. His body was burnt to death. Kerosene, eyewitness accounts say that kerosene, which is petrol, and weapons were provided by politicians. Politicians were standing there, giving out lists, giving out petrol to these mobsters and telling them to kill the Sikhs. The police, when they came, I'm going to show you a short video, when the police, when they were asked, "Please save us," they refused to help. They refused to get help the Sikh. And you can see another Sikh house being destroyed. You can see the Sardars, again, any Amritaris, they were treated as a terrorist. These are the gangs. This is one photograph of the type of mobsters which attacked the Sikhs. Basically, blood-hungry people. And these are other pictures. You can see what effect it had on the people. I'm just going to show you a small. I'm going to show you a small video. If you just to show you the effects and what happened.
ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਹੈਗੀ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ੁਕ ਫੂਲਕੀਆ ਦੀ ਕਿਤਾਬ
ਹਾਂ ਜੀ
ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੜਾ ਕੁਝ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਆਰਮੀ ਦੇ 에ਅਰ ਫੋਰਸ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਕ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਰੌਂਦ ਸੀਗੇ ਬੰਦੂਕ ਸੀਗੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗੇ ਅਟੈਕ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਬੜੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਗੋਲੀ ਚਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਸਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਪਰਸੂਏਟ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਤਗਮਾ ਖੋਹ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਦਮ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਿਹਾੜ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ 'ਚ ਰੱਖਿਆ 15 ਦਿਨ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਤਰਲੋਕਪੁਰੀ 'ਚ ਉਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਗਲੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਹਥਿਆਰ ਖੋਹ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਸੂਏਟ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀਲੇ ਹਾੜੇ ਵਰਤਦੇ ਸੀ
I'm just going to show you Bhai Sahib saying what happened. Just watch this video. It's got a small description of what happened.
कोई हाजिरी है ना पहला रोटी खा लो
बैठी बैठी बाहर ताकि अंदर हो
ना जाओ बाहर ना जाओ बाहर ना जाओ
तू डालना मेरे को कृपान हैगी तुम्हारे बच्चे भी था
आवाज नहीं करना अच्छा इधर बैठे आवाज नहीं करना अर्जुन खेलना नहीं जब तक मैं वापस ना आऊं
clip, as Bhai Sahib described, how the Sikhs were unarmed and they were attacked. These are real, that's one glimpse. There's many people who just to save their children, kids, boys, they undid their hair, they braided their hair just so they got mistaken as girls. They took off their curry. But people then the neighbours would shout, they're pretending to not be, and they to get them, and they murdered them. So much bloodshed, but no one in the world raised a voice for the Sikh. And that's very important to remember these people who died.
It was that film banned in India.
And that film is called Ammu. Ammu ya film da is banned in India. You can get it on YouTube, you can see parts of it. Okay. So what's happening now, post 1984? Some people might think, oh, these photos should not be shown. I think they should be shown. In the Langar Hall or in the museum. This is what's happened to us. Since 1984, Amnesty International is first thing was banned in Punjab. What's Amnesty International? Anyone tell me? Hanji Paji. Human Rights Organization, who basically monitors, they see what the police are doing, if anybody's being tortured. They're banned in Punjab, and just recently, this year, they've closed their office in Delhi because they said they were being harassed and they were not given appropriate funds, and basically, under certain circumstances, they had to close their office in Delhi. Sikh women were raped. This is Operation Shuddhi. There's one Operation Woodrose which happened. Operation Woodrose was that in every village in Punjab, there's over 12,500 villages in Punjab. 12,500, 12,700 and something. 2 youngsters from each village. This is called Operation Woodrose. Each village, 2 youngsters were brought out, aged between 15 and 30.
Was it Blackwood?
Hanji?
Operation Blackwood.
No, Blackwood or Darbar Sahib. They attack, another attack on Darbar Sahib. It Woodrose here. And 2 youngsters are brought out from each village, and they would call the whole village out, so that it's a public event, and they would shoot these 2 youngsters in cold blood. Why would they do that? Anyone tell me? It's to create fear in the minds of normal people. You do not speak out. You see injustice, you keep your trap shut. You don't speak. Just frighten people. That's why in India, go there, talk about human rights. Everybody's too scared. Be quiet. We say now, Punjab's fine. I went to in February. I didn't see any of this torture. That's because normal people, this doesn't happen. It's gone underground. The people who are tortured are people who speak out. And the sad fact is normal Punjabis don't speak out now. They're too tired, they're too scared. They've seen too much pain in their lives. My relatives, my stepmother, her mother, she was arrested by Punjab police, Ludhiana, and there. And she's about 75 years old. She can't walk. When she walks like this. She can't walk in a straight. She walks like that. What happened is that she was Punjab police women. They tortured her because they said your son is a Attabadi militant. They got a bail on her and they crushed her like a wooden block, and they rolled it down on her thighs and they crushed her thighs, and that's why she can't walk properly. She goes that they tortured otherwise, but she doesn't want to talk about it. People see too much dukh, they don't want to talk about it. If you're in Punjab as a human rights activist, this is what you will probably experience. If you want to go there, just get on with your life, keep your head down, then probably nowadays you won't see this. But it does. Amnesty International says that torture still exists in Punjab. That's what they say, Gore is saying. Right? Operation Shuddhi. Operation Shuddhi was another operation by KP Gill, Punjab police, where the operation was to arrest Sikh women, dishonour them in the prison cell by bringing their husband, father-in-law, or their father, or their children, sons, and raping the woman in front of their family members. Then they were saying that they would laugh that now we will impregnate your wives so that we make sure that no terrorists are born. You understand what is happening, yeah? I'm talking very graphically because this is the truth we need to know. We need to rather than just tiptoe around this. Gursikhs, they were basically ripped apart, electric shocks. Also, they cut you up and put chili powder in there. They might put rats into your kashera. You can imagine that type of. Women are given other tortures. Men are hung from the top of the thing, given electric shock so that you can't ever have a kid and stuff like that. Men, when being tortured afterwards, when they're killed, to humiliate them, dressed into women's clothes. Another woman who's just come out of the police. These are pictures from Tribune newspaper. A lady's come out claiming that she's been raped by the Punjab police. And just now I'm coming to the end. The summary. This is actually the end. Bhai Manvir Singh, Ardas, Jinnah Khopriya Nahaiyan. Those who were scalped alive. Bhai Manvir Singh refused for his hair to be cut off. Instead, he goes, a Sikh never cuts his hair. Instead, you take off my scalp. Modern day, a Gurkha Sikh, tortured by Punjab police. He's lying down, if you can make it out, that's the top of his head which has been scraped off, that's his case. Modern day Bhai Manvir Singh. Bhai Diyala Ji, Bhai Diyala Ji, he was boiled alive, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Sikh, 9th Guru. He was facing the Guru. When being boiled alive, he goes, may my face be towards the Guru. May I never give my Sikhi. May I be boiled alive, but I never give my Sikhi. Sad is compared to today. Bhai Gurdev Singh Debbu, 1986, boiled by the Punjab police. Can you imagine? This is within some of our lifetimes. The barbaric acts of the Mughals are being done today as well. The Punjab police, Indian government are the Mughals of today. But the sad fact is that the Sikh community has not acknowledged that. Now we see us just keep quiet. Shh. Don't talk about it. Don't mention it to the kids. Don't mention 1984. Don't mention it in the Gurdwara. Don't mention it in the Gurmat class. Why? Because we are being made to feel scared. We are no longer the sons and daughters of Guru Gobind Singh. We are no longer such Anik chal gaya. The only way to, if you are truly the Sikhs of Guru Gobind Singh, to reawaken that spirit. Bhai Gurdev Singh Debbu, let alone give up Sikhi. Bhai Gurdev Singh Debbu never gave up his name. They asked him, what's your name? He knew if he said his name, he would implicate other people because they were looking for certain people. He would rather be boiled alive than reveal his own name to the Punjab police, let alone give up Sikhi. Can you imagine? This is the pyar of Gur Sikhs. Jinnah Arya Churaya Gaya, Bhai Mati Das was sewn alive. Sewn alive, and even beyond being sewn alive, history tells us, read your history, read history written by the Persians and other people. They say that Bhai Mati Das recited Japji Sada Path whilst being sewn alive, but he never gave the Sikhi. And look, a young child has been, I'll say that's the modern day being sewn alive. 3 years old, this Gursikh child. Bhai Subheg Singh, Shabaz Singh, they were They were crushed in rotating wheels, father and son. But they didn't give up their Sikhi, they didn't give up their Guru. Modern day, I think, I'm not sure if that's Bhai Gurjant Singh, Bud Singh Wale, I'm unsure. But again, you can see, similar, his body's been crushed. Some of these Gursikhs, their bones were taken out as well, so literally, imagine the amount of pain. When you go to doctors, imagine these people, they start, like, you wouldn't even do this to animals. So these are the modern day things happening to us. These are physical attacks, you know? Now look what's happening. I've got a picture of that. So when I said Aishwarya Rai, remind me. There's a new film coming up, Aishwarya Rai, called Hi Harippa or something like that, or Bol Harippa or something like that. And she basically got a jura on her head, Aishwarya Rai. She's made of a goatee, a beard, and she's doing this dressed in a Bhangra dancer outfit, and she is trying to be a Sikh man. You basically look like such an idiot, such a joker. And the sad thing is, apne bande bewakoof who buy Bollywood films. Apne bande go to the Indian shop. Oh, can I get that film? Can I get that film? Saadi besti karte hai. Sanu bewakoof banande hai. We're paying them to make us bewakoof. Why do our Sikh sisters cut their eyebrows? Why do our Sikh sisters cut their hair? Why do our Sikh brothers want to be clean shaven? I'm being honest now. It's because we're being bombarded with these images. They don't want us to know that Mata Sahib was our mother. They don't want us to have these images of that Singhani. See Singhani wearing the Dastara, being there and saying, we are the lions, we are princesses. They don't want these images. They say, we want you to look like us. You always realise the hero is always Salman Khan or Shah Rukh Khan, isn't it? The clean-shaven idiots who smoke.
And the idiots are Sikh.
And the idiots, the jokers are Sikh. Santa Banta, this and the other. There's other images I will show you. It's too many images. I'll get fed up. Whether we're going to boycott Bollywood, boycott ZTV, there's Dharma programs. Someone marks Z Alpha, other channels just because of Dharma program. But if you've got a channel, especially for Indian films or dramas, I really need to think to ourselves. Are we going to allow these people to do our bestie? Sadi baap de bestie, dharam de bestie? Are we going to wake up, really have a wake up call and think, are we going to allow these people? That's Jo Bole Sonhar, no but Sirf Jat. There's a picture out for this. There's a booty, a lady with just covering her chest. Looks very skimpy because she looks like a strip dancer. She is lying there underneath it says Jo Bole Sonhar. Can you imagine the core beyond the how disrespectful, and they think they can get away with it. And now a new film is coming on Sanjay Dutt. I know all these things. I used to watch Hindi film before I was a good Sanjay Dutt has got a new Hindi film coming out. Nami film Amitabh Bachchan de naal hai. Is about Kharkuz, is about Sikh militants and how the Punjab police crushed the Sikh terrorists. They're going to make the Punjab police and the Indian army be the heroes and the Sikhs are the terrorists. Just to reinforce, by the way, if you're planning to keep your beard untied, wear the star and take Amrit, just to remind you, by the way, you do look like a terrorist. They want these images to go in our mind. But we are the idiots again who buy this in, go to the India. I was like, English film dekhya karo. I'm not into watching films. As a Gursikh, मैं फिल्मां नहीं देखता. I try not to watch films. But if you're going to watch a Punjabi film, देखनी है, गोड़िया दी film देख लो. Don't watch Indian film outside. Unless it's something like Ammu or something which is done by a non-Bollywood type of thing, which is not doing a base apne bande. Just going back on this for RSS. There's other groups who are trying to say that we are Hindus. What's wrong in that picture? Hindu symbol and the 10 gurus. There's other pictures of the Chote Sahibs out there. And Ram is blessing the Sahibs out there. ठीक है, वो उन्होंने धार्मिक सत्कार जो Hindus, we respect them. We are even willing to die for their right to practice their religion. But don't mix and say that we are Hindus. We are not. This is Punjab farmers. They're basically being, like I said, the water levels going down. They're being dried out. Again, do you remember that picture by Daru Singh with the Mughal holding the case? What's different? This is modern day Punjab. Hairdresser holding the case of a munda. He's having his hair cut. Look at his face. Why? He's too ashamed to be a Sikh. Why do Sikh sisters cut their eyebrows? Why do they let me apne baal siddhe karde? Auntiyan, shyani auntiyan. Afsoos di gall hai. I went to India to a family wedding. तो ते मैं बेनती कीती. My niece was bringing roti, and I said, "Oh, you cut your hair?" She goes, "Yeah, I cut my hair." She goes, "इत्ते चाचा जी सारे बाल कटते कुड़ियाँ फिर मजाक करांदी है जैसी बाल ना कटने they take the lick if you don't cut a hair." In Punjab, the land of the gurus, can you imagine? मैं क्या अच्छा मैं क्या can you not make my roti please? मैं क्या कोई केस तारी बीबी मेरी प्रसादा बनावे? मैं क्या sorry मैं तेरे तो प्रसादा नहीं छक सकता. I can't eat roti good. मैं क्या this is my personal feeling. Because I felt very disheartened. मैं क्या I would like someone who's proud to be a Sikh, who does some Simran or something, make my roti please. She comes back 10 minutes later. ਚਾਚਾ ਜੀ ਕੋਈ ਬੀਬੀ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਬਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਟੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਪਿੰਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 30-40 ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਉੱਥੇ 30-40 ladies in Punjab in a village. No woman has got case. Everybody's cut their hair. ਪਾੜੇ ਥੋੜੇ ਬਾਲ ਕੱਟੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੱਟੇ is irrelevant for me. It's very sad. That's what's happening. History books are being changed. In Delhi there are many cases where Guru Tegh Bahadur, the 9th Guru, is made into being a troublemaker who was just beheaded because he had some problems. They've totally forgotten that the gurus, we gave our head. Guru gave their head to save the Hindu religion. These pictures of Khalsa College, Amritsar. Khalsa College, Amritsar, the ground, the photo. What? Do you even find that in your own school ground? Would you expect a picture of your own school playground with drugs and needles in there? That's Khalsa College, Amritsar. And that's a picture of Amritsar. Amritsar, we've got the most drug users in the whole of Punjab and the drug capital of India, by the way. So, what are we going to do? It's very clear that forces from the beginning of Guru Nanak Dev Ji have always tried to destroy Sikhi. Those who do not like freedom, those who do not like the truth, those who do not like people to live just and in peace with others, that they've always attacked Sikhi. The powerful tribes always attack Sikhi. And they want to get rid of us either by destroying our history, destroying our history books, destroying our image, how we perceive ourselves. That's with Hindi films. They've tried to cut us alive, boil us alive. But one thing is, the Sikhs of Guru Gobind Singh said, you can boil us alive, cut us alive, you can change our history books, you can attack our Gurdwara, you can even give us electric shocks, you can scalp us alive, but we will never give us Sikhi. That's the true spirit of Guru Gobind Singh. So what are we going to do? My final four, before doing some kirtan, someone get a baja and tabla. If one of the youngsters get a baja and tabla, Veer Ji, if you could, when the Diwan will get a baja and tabla, we end with some kirtan. We are end with that. These people try to destroy our Sikhi. Sikhi khod di koshish karte hain. But what is we have to show? If we truly have any respect for who we are, no one will respect you unless you respect yourself. If you don't respect your Sikh, you're too ashamed to wear kara. If you're too ashamed to say to your friend, look, I don't cut my hair. The reason being I'm a Sikh. That's why I don't cut my eyebrows. I personally don't stare at women who don't cut their eyebrows because they look normal to me. But sometimes, being honest, perhaps I should say this, I'm just carefree, I don't offend anybody because you're my brothers and sisters, so that's why I speak like you're my brothers and sisters. If you're not my brothers and sisters, I don't say stuff like this. Otherwise, I don't offend you. But family members, you can say this.
ਉਹ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਇਹ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਉਮਰ ਦੇ ਮੇਰੀ 56 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਆ ਆਹ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ 76 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਦਾੜੀ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕਾਲੀ ਆ ਜਦ ਲੋਕ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਹਿ ਹਟਿਆ ਕਿ ਲਾਓ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਾਲਾ ਕਾਲਾ ਕਰੋ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਮਾਵਾਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਧੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਛਾ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਲੋਕ ਇਹ ਵਾਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਮਾਈਆਂ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਧੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਪਰ ਵੱਡਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਣ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਵੀ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰੰਗ ਲਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੀ
Very good point, Pastor. Coloring your hair again. This image that Rupar has given you, that's the most beautiful. And I remember Apaji usually tells me to share this story. There's Benji in Russian Bibi, she in Southwood. You must see her, she tries to wipe the start and she's Russian. She's used to be a teacher, I don't think anymore, at Gurmat School Hayes. Benji, Sukmani Kaur name. She tries to start pura bana. She doesn't wear English clothes, bana hi paya hunda, main tour, aam tour te. She kadi got to wear part of the uniform or you're doing activities, but usually wears bana. She is in Russia, she's written a story, it was on the internet I read, a long time ago. She said that she was in the Moscow, you know there's a big square, I don't know what the square is called.
Red Square. It's a red square.
Red Square, the main square is utte. There were some tourist bande there. Unhone camera kumre paaye ya, they're looking around and they're staring at Benji. Pay attention to this, especially my sisters. They're staring at Benji and saying, and they're speaking amongst themselves. She thought they might be lost. You know, because they got like the camera, the video thing, this, that, the other thing. They might be lost tourists. She goes up to them and says, "Can I help you?" Because she thought they don't have enough guts to say, you know, we need help. They go, we've got questions. She thought, "What's your name? Directions? What's your name?" They go, "Can we ask which country's princess are you?" At the star on her head, wearing bara, this is how proud she was walking around that I am a princess. They go, "Which country's princess are you?" This is the power of bara, your identity. Don't be afraid of it. One thing is, don't wear, oh yeah, I don't want to keep my hair, I don't want to be a Sikh. If you don't want to keep your hair, just baal katne ya rangane ya Sikh nahi kara nahi pona. Don't think that you're being forced. Na po. At least you'll appreciate it. Jere rakhde ya, you appreciate it. But don't say that, oh, I'm practicing Sikhi and I can still do these things. If you want to be a Sikh, be proud of it. Why be scared? Why are Muslims saadi besti kari jande? Why Gore saadi besti kari jande? Sare paas saadi besti hui jande? Because we ourselves do our besti. We ourselves are not proud of who we are. Be proud of who you are. If you're proud of who you are, these youngsters, this young child sleeping here, when she goes older, she will see proud brothers and sisters. You don't need to do Gurmat classes. You don't need mere ka bevkuvite gallat tanu sunai janda ya. You don't need people like me. Instead, when they see you walking with your head high, they will be inspired. Apne aap ne Sikh ban jana. Apne aap they'll be inspired to take Qamar. Mere varge don't need to tell you, tusi Amar Shok, why? Ye koi free di daat diya tha, I'm telling you, I'll give you a free goodie bag, take Qamar. Why should I give you? Why next week giving out, oh yeah, I'll give you a check of £100, take Qamar. It's your bad karam. It's your bad destiny, your bad fortune if you can't see the beauty in taking Qamar. It's your bad fortune, your bad destiny if you can't see the beauty in keeping Sikhi. It's your bad fortune, your bad destiny if you can't see the beauty of Sikhi school. So in last binti is, these small things have been written here. Rabaji, Rajdeep Singh, others, Maharaj doing seva through them. I won't say they're doing seva, Maharaj doing seva through them. Support them, attend these classes. Attending these classes, bring passion to these classes. You yourselves, bring new things. Okay, we are a bit bored. You get bored, do something new. Okay, I think this is not right. Oh, reading these books, I'm getting a bit bored. Okay, let's learn Sikh in a new, fresh way. One thing is, learning Punjabi is very important. Every person who attacks Sikh is trying to take away our language. Are we going to allow them? Musliman, they've lived in this country sometimes 3 generations. Their great or their granddads come from Pakistan. Their grandsons born here and their dads born here. And they speak Hindi Soni Urdu Punjabi bolte hai. sad thing, I sometimes speak Punjabi words in a presentation. Paji, what? Oh, Punjabi, Paji, you speak too much Punjabi. Man, thodi Punjabi bolda, you speak too much Punjabi. That's why I feel very sad that Paisa, when he talked, Paisa, and I would recommend that Paisa comes to the classes, the weekly classes, apne stories, share them once in a while. It'd be very good to have elders come in, like Paisa, and share stories. But the sad fact is that they apne bache, what? I can't understand Punjabi, what? Why? Are we that thick and idiots that we can't even know Punjabi? People can learn Spanish, you learn German, you can become, there's a Punjabi Kuri, she did Spanish law. Spanish law. Asi Punjabi the car, janam le ke we can't speak Punjabi. It's really, I find it very cringing, to be honest, very cringing. We're too sad. Oh, are you Baba? Are you Bindu speaking? Oh, you're Gyani speaking Punjabi. Be proud of it. Accept Guru Granth Sahib Ji Guru. Stand up for human rights, not just for Sikhs. Stand up for the Tibetans. Stand up for Zimbabwe. If you're doing any projects in your school or college, join them. Fight for everybody. This is what Sikh does. Taking Amrit. I'm not going to tell you to take Amrit, because it's koi free di dadi, you yearn to take Amrit. All I can do is pray that my Maharaj give us all the first to take Amrit. Then Amrit Shakya, oi das sakde, the blessings of Guru Maharaj given. The rest, you can only pray. Read and understand the Gurbani history. Paji Vijay Singh said that as well. You need to know about 984. You need to know about the rest of Sikh history. मैं अपने गुरु च भरोसा रख के मैं गल कहंदा आया that anybody who reads Sikh history from A to Z, anybody who every week reads one story, there's how many weeks in a year? How many? 52. 52 stories a year. Read your history. Any child, any Penji, any Paji knows their history, who can read Gurbani and can do Nityanim, that person will never cut their dari. Koi banda kadi nahi dari katuga. That person who reads their history, who reads Gurbani, they will realize, main ki gand vich fasda hai. Why I'm going to these clubs, pub party, this gandagi, this ki besharam puna. People wearing these low tops, this munde vi amri, this secretary, the low vest, they're wearing tight vests. Not gonna putting, we shouldn't give girls a hard time. Boys are just as besharam, wearing these tight vest top. I went to sample the depressing, very depressing. Oh, mundiane pat geje banne with a Nike chick. You seen them? Oh, what a bunch of clowns they look like. Just like you don't want to try a pat na banno. Zaruri apna you're gonna make a show of yourself with a Nike chick on a pataka, and then a dari katti or dari rangi, this that the other. You read your history and you'll be so proud of your great grandmother, your great grandfather, that you will not get his blood is within you, isn't it? And again, be proud of your identity. If you're not proud of yourself, if you're not proud of your principles, if you're going to have your prom, some good Sikh, he MSN to me. Oh, that's a word, MSN, I don't know. I was at MSN. He sent me a message with Baji, I've got my school prom, I'm in year 11. Should I go or not? I don't know, I'm a bit scared. What if I don't go, I look bad. Nega, do you like your friends? Yes. Do they like you? Yes. Why don't you want to go to the prom? Or people drink outside and people dancing and songs. I don't feel comfortable because my mind, I want my mind to think of Guru, and when I'm listening to these songs, my mind doesn't think of Guru. I said, then, if they truly respect you, you have to respect yourself. Tell them. Be proud and say, look, that's okay, we meet up another time, we go ice skating, go meet up with them during the daytime, but I can't attend the prom. The reason being is there's alcohol there, I'm not into the music and this, that, the other, but you know, I'll meet up with you again. There's many ways, and one thing is, my Christmas parties, when I've been at work, I never attended a Christmas party with this, then they go to the pub. They said to me, Manvir, would you like to go to the pub, Christmas party, when I worked in Curry's? They say obviously Manvir is Manvir in English, so I've got two names. And I said, sorry, I'm a Sikh and Sikhs don't drink alcohol. Don't worry, you can drink juice there. I don't sit in places where there's smoking. At that time, the band hadn't come in. And she goes, don't worry, we'll sit in the non-smoking area. We'll sit in the non-smoking area of the pub. You can enjoy me. I'm meat nahi khanda, I'm vegetarian, I'm Sikh, I'm meat nahi khanda. But don't worry, I'll make sure there's a good vegetarian meal you can have. I said, to be honest with you, I feel my spirituality gets affected by sitting in a place where there's alcohol or meat or in that environment. For this reason, for my spiritual peace, I do not go to these places. She goes, I respect you. They got me a Christmas card, this, that, they come by. inna satkar, because I respect the principles which I believe in. If you don't believe it, imagine if I say, oh yeah, I can't make it because I have to go to this, I have to go to see my mom, yeah, I have to go to my uncle's house. I made an excuse. That's what a Muslimani did. मेरे नाना एक मुसलमानी काम कर दी उन्हें कितने जाना सी बेचारे ने वो ब्याह she's married, she's not going to the pub. उन्हें कहना भी I have to see if I'm busy, I look at my diary. Again, she just stood up for herself. And you know what? Every you let us down, you let us down. Oh gosh, and every time like saying negative things about her. So that's my main thing. Be proud. We're going to end with Simran and Kirtan. Participate. Let yourself absorb. Sikhi is not something to preach or teach. Sikhi is something to experience. That's why many of us get bored very easily come to the Gurdwara. We get fed up very easily with the Gurdwara. Why? Because we are too busy thinking, oh, Sikhi is something to look at, Sikhi is something to listen, but it's actually, we forgot, it's something to experience. Don't listen to the Ragi or the Gyani sing in the shop. Participate. I like your Khalsa Club rules. They just sing along with the part, recite the part out aloud. When you do part, hearing part is one thing. But when you participate yourself, you get another feeling. You can either look at the water, or you can throw yourself or dive into the pool, and then you only know what the ocean feels like. The same with Sikhi. If you follow Sikhi, I'll say you're very blessed, and I'm the dust of your feet. If you don't follow Sikhi, I still respect you and I do ardas. Then my Maharaj bless you one day that you may realise the gems and the jewels which the Guru has blessed you with, which at the moment you might not have the blessings to actually see and appreciate. So may Guruji do give on all of us. We're going to end with doing some kirtan and so we're going to all sit around. We'll sit around in a circle. We're going to switch the projector off and not on my eyes.
I've got Sikhi to the max. Sikhi to the max of my body.
Oh yeah, we keep Sikhi to the max. That's a good idea. Very good. Okay. So what we do is going to bring the Bhajan Tabla here, please. If I've said anything